largely down to Corinthians. In fact, in 1894 and 1895, they played consecutive games where Corinthians provided the entire England 11. But the thing is, the players refused to play professional football. They didn't believe in it. They wanted to spread the values of sportsmanship, competition, and played for the love of the game. It also helped that most of the players were Oxbridge graduates who didn't need the money. But instead of entering the league and cup competitions, they played exhibition football and toured the world, bringing the beautiful game with them. And it was this which spread the game throughout the world and made it so popular. Most famously, in 1910, they travelled to Brazil. And the locals in Sao Paulo were so impressed, they started their own team under the same name. Yes, the same Corinthians who won the FIFA Club World Cup in 2021, one of the biggest football teams in Brazil. Now, they were global superstars, and despite not being professional, Corinthians drew in the crowds. Everybody wanted to play them, everybody wanted to watch them. So much so, they regularly played the winners of the FA Cup in what eventually became the Community Shield, winning most of the time. They actually inflicted Manchester United's worst defeat, 11-3, a record which still stands to this day. Now, fast forward to today, Corinthian casuals still don't pay their staff or players. The ethos of sportsmanship is still at the heart of everything that they do. And even though they're a side in the lower leagues, if you make the trip to King George's Field in Tolworth just off the A3, you'll most likely bump into Brazilian Corinthians fans who often make the pilgrimage across the globe just to watch their founding team play.
Good morning, 3 minutes past 6 o'clock. It is Monday the 25th of August. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. Build your own car deal online or with a few clicks. They make buying your next car easy. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ally McCoist is with us live from Glasgow this morning. Coisty, good morning.
Jeff, a very good morning to you, pal. How are you this morning?
I'm very good. Like you, though, I'll have been staying up till after 11 o'clock to watch the FedEx.
How good was that?
Oh,
you and I,
man.
We had a wee chat earlier on, maybe the back of 7, 8 o'clock, and we had the same thing in mind, what our plans were, and didn't they just go according to plan, same as they did for Tommy. I was so chuffed. I was so pleased, mate.
The amazing thing, isn't it? He's playing in the States against a home favourite, effectively head-to-head at the end. And yet he's got an American crowd chanting, Tommy, Tommy, Tommy. I mean, that could never have happened before. Not ever.
No, I know. I think it's a combination of the fact that, you know, a lot of people, ourselves included, were willing to win. He's had a couple of tough trips the last couple of tournaments. And he's a good guy. He's a great guy. And I think a combination of all those factors made it possible that, as you say, the home crowd were cheering them on. And even one of my favourites, even you saw Justin Rose filming it at the end.
Yeah,
he was filming it, obviously, to pass on to him. I just thought it was brilliant, the whole thing.
Look,
terrific.
Let's relive the moment, shall we? After 164 attempts, Tommy is finally a PGA Tour winner.
Tommy rolls it up to the hole from 8 feet 10 inches away to the cup. Off to the right, it misses. Tommy will walk up and tap it in for the wind. Tommy Fleetwood is the winner of the 2025 Tour Championship. And with that, he captures the PGA Tour's ultimate prize, the FedEx Cup. At long last, it's the sweet taste of victory on the PGA Tour for Tommy Fleetwood.
And if you're going to win one, well, it's not a bad one to win. $10 million he picked up for that. You know, you mentioned Justin Rose there. Testament to his popularity, Coisty, was the fact it wasn't just Justin Rose, but Shane Lowry was there, Tyrrell Hatton was there, Harry Hall was there. They're all waiting to cheer in their boy. And I'll tell you what, over the last few months, he's been the best in the world, hasn't he? I mean, you can argue Scheffler, of course you can. Yeah. But he's been right up there as well, in contention continuously. And just when you think that mentally he must have taken a battering, he stood up to everything an elite field could throw at him.
Absolutely right. I mean, I think you're right, and there would have been time. And I'm listening to his interview after the victory. There's always that, even at the back of your mind, he's on the 18th tee and he knows he's got his lead, but he's still got to go over the line, something that he'd never done before. I think you're spot on with your assessment. I think, I know it was his first victory yesterday, but on current form. Yeah, of course, Scheffler's absolutely ridiculous. On current form, but he's got to get mentioned in the same breath. Do you know what I mean? But, I mean, what a victory for him. I didn't realise it was just as many as 164 attempts. But, I mean, it was just brilliant television, brilliant to see. And as you say, his popularity, all the lads hanging around to see it and cheer him on. It was just, it was great telly, wasn't it?
Yeah. You sort of, he didn't want to show too much emotion, but you detected there was a little tear welling up in the eye afterwards. That's for sure. Is this the start of something even bigger for Tommy? Do you expect him to go on from here, Coisty?
I think we all hope so. Yeah, I don't think there's any reason. I mean, it's such a tough gig nowadays. I mean, look at the players you mentioned there hanging about, you know, to congratulate them. The fields nowadays, I think, are probably as strong as they've been in a long, long time, Jeff. So, I mean, if you're talking about, you know, a run of form, if you're talking top 10 for these guys is great, but can he go on and win again? And will he go on and win again? I would suggest absolutely yes. Probably in the form of his life, yep.
Yeah. Has Patrick Cantlay put it out at the 18th yet? I mean, for goodness sake, he is unwatchable. He is unwatchable, mate. I've never known anybody take longer over every single thing.
It's horrendous, isn't it? And it's terrible.
Man.
By the way, Jeff, I mean, it's bad enough us watching it, but imagine playing with him.
Yeah. Not surprisingly, they were warned about slow play during the course of the round, you know?
Man.
I think Tommy should have done a bit of finger pointing. We'll talk about it more during the course of the day. And unfortunately for you, Coisty, we'll also be talking about Rangers. Yeah. 7th in the table. They're already 6 points behind Celtic after 3 games. Their worst start in 36 years. And to make matters worse, if they could be, Rangers forward Hamza Igerman refused to come on as a substitute, claiming he was injured. Here's what Russell Martin had to say in his post-match press conference.
Hamza told me he was injured, so we had a bid this week for Hamza. We rejected it. All was fine. Trained fine yesterday, warmed up fine. I turned around to him at 60 minutes because I wanted 2 strikers on the pitch, so I Gas and Danny ended up there, and Hamza told me he's injured.
So he's on the bench and he's now effectively refusing to play. Would that be fair?
Well, I don't know. I have to trust him, but we'll see.
How do you deal with a situation like that, especially when you're 1-0 down and you need a goal?
So the issue is that the transfer window is still open. There are a lot of people one eye out the door and one in, and we need people to be all in all the time at this football club. We really need that. So at the minute there's still too many people uncertain or still trying to think maybe there's something there for me. So the window needs to shut quickly. In-house we need to make sure that we have people who really want to be here. So the people that come in and the people that stay that really, really want to be here. So we'll see. I'm calm about it. Kevin and Patrick are aware of it, and we'll see where it goes.
Now, as far as the striker is concerned, Coisty, I just wonder, is that what you get if you call the players out as early as Russell Martin did when he first arrived?
I don't think so, Jeff. I actually don't think it's really got anything to do with that. And I might be wrong and you might be right. You're certainly right to ask a question. I think a lad wants away regardless of Russell Martin's approach to his job, to be honest with you. It's a tough one, right? Because we've all got an opinion on it, but effectively we don't know, right? If he says he's injured himself in the warm-up, there's not a lot you can do about it, right? I find it very, very strange, you know, at that particular time. But I'm talking to you as a man that has effectively injured himself in a warm-up of a cup final and had to pull out. So it can happen, right? It can happen. But there's just something not right about it.
Yeah.
See if he's not injured, you fine him as much as you possibly can. And they're in a position now. I don't want to contradict myself regarding the Isaac situation and the visa situation, but it's appalling if he is fit to play and he said, no, I'm injured, I'm not going on, then that's diabolical. Actually, to tell you the truth, it's absolutely diabolical. But it's a very, very difficult thing to prove, right? Now, the bottom line is, Jeff, I don't know. The lad might have injured himself in the warm-up, and if that's the case, as I said, I've done it myself, so it is possible. I mean, but you can tell he wants away.
I didn't see the game, Coisty, but I looked at the stats. St Mirren had more attempts and the same number of corners. They've got Club Brugge on Wednesday, Celtic at home on Sunday. How thin is the ice under Russell Martin's feet at the moment?
Oh, it's getting thin ice, of course, yes. You know, there's no doubt about it, Jeff. Absolutely no doubt about it. I mean, the first thing I've got to say, and I've got to be honest again, St Mirren more than deserved the point. You know, they've played really, really well. But that wasn't a surprise. That side of it wasn't a surprise. You and I have spoke before. Stephen Robertson's doing a fabulous job at St Mirren. Difficult place to go. At the best of times, he's got them well organised. But you're asking me to comment on Rangers. Rangers look soft, pal. Look really soft. They look weak physically. They look weak mentally. They've got nothing about them. It's... there's problems here, mate. Big problems. Yeah. And there's a lot of it not Russell Martin's fault, Jeff. However, we know where the buck stops. As always, it'll stop at the manager's door, right? But there's a lot of the problems not his fault. Some of them, all of them he's going to have to deal with. Whether he can do it quickly enough, time will tell. I hope he does.
Premier League back at the weekend, of course. Some weekend, wasn't it? And we'll talk about most of the games. You know, the opening of Everton's new stadium was absolutely brilliant. Chelsea, fantastic at West Ham. West Ham, by contrast, absolutely awful. You were at the Etihad, Coisty. I thought that was an eye-opening performance from both sides, actually.
So did I, mate.
Spurs were anything but Spursy. They were brilliant. And
solid.
City, not sure about them.
Well, we can talk about both of them, but let's talk about the positives first of all. Tottenham, mate, very good. Solid enough at the back. You know, Richarlison, honestly, he's in some form, mate. He is in some form. But the key area for me were the three lads in the middle of the park. I thought Pape Sarr was outstanding, Paulinho was outstanding, and Bentancur as well, Jeff. They were absolutely... Spurs were very, very impressive, mate. I spoke to Big Moisey yesterday as well after the game. What a day for them. Everton new stadium. I don't know if you watched it, mate.
Yeah, I did,
They got another penalty given against them that I wouldn't have given. But anyway, there you are. But it was a great result from clean sheet and obviously with the stadium. But the other thing I was going to mention to you as well, that I know we've got a lot to go about, what a day on Saturday for Coventry. The whole thing about the stadium and obviously the result as well. Yeah, great weekend, mate.
Yeah, 7 goals for Coventry. That's 12 in 2. Spectacular stuff in front of goal, but yeah, we'll touch on as many things as we possibly can between now and 10 o'clock. Up next, find out who Bruno Fernandes is blaming for his skied penalty at Fulham yesterday. Good morning, 6:18. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling there. You're playing my song. Ally McCoist is with us as well. Look, we all know what it is, why we're playing it. One of the franchise's most iconic actors, Sean Connery, would have been 95 today. Wow. Was he your favourite Bond, Coisty?
Unsurprisingly, yes. I tell you, I did enjoy as well. I did enjoy Daniel Craig.
Yeah, me too.
Jeff, I thought Daniel Craig was brilliant.
Yeah.
But put me in a corner. Yeah, there is a little bit of home bias. Clearly, Sean was my man.
I wasn't always the biggest Bond fan, you know, but I liked some of the later movies because they had so much more humour in them. Skyfall,
yes.
I thought was absolutely
terrific
brilliant.
movie.
Yeah,
I thought a terrific movie as well.
Wasn't the biggest. By the way, we're not going to play any of it, but I should mention Elvis Costello is 71 today. Were you a fan?
Really? Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
me
Some
too.
great music.
From
Bob
I Don't Want to Go to
and
Chelsea,
Alison,
he was the only one.
Very good.
Yeah. Alison was a great song. Oliver's Army, you know, I Can't Stand Up for Falling Down, Accidents Will Happen. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, accidents would happen. Brilliant song.
Yeah.
Fantastic song.
He was absolutely sensational. Okay, Sam Ellard is back with us.
Very good morning, Sam.
With a look at Tesco's back pages. Tesco's back pages. Today's back pages. It's a bank holiday. With Tesco Mobile for Business.
The Back Page Review on talkSPORT with Tesco Mobile for Business. Got a side hustle baking bread? Improve your take-home dough with business phone bills for up to 40% less than the big three networks. For verification, see tescomobile.com/business.
Sam, morning to you. You were looking a bit puzzled when we were talking about Oliver's Army and Accidents Will Happen.
I was hoping you weren't going to ask me about that because I didn't want to embarrass myself this morning at 6:20 on the world's biggest sports radio station. But I can contribute to the James Bond conversation.
Right, okay.
And I would definitely say it's Daniel Craig all the way, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I know you agree with me on that one, don't you, Jeff?
Yeah, I do. I mean, but that's mainly, as I say, because I wasn't a big fan in the early days, and because I have enjoyed the fact there was much more humour in there. It's much more, you know, irreverent, if you like, in the later films. Enjoyed those very much. But you know, I mean, I'm sure Bond aficionados, I'm sure a lot of them will tell us that Connery was the greatest.
I'm sure. There we go. Me and you, though, Jeff, we're together with Daniel Craig. Most of the back pages today, guys, reacting to the Everton game yesterday and the Man United draw at Fulham. Some of the headlines and pieces I've seen back at the Times. Grealish, I'm loving the game again. Jack Grealish admitted he had stopped enjoying his football, and Manchester City, after his creative spark, helped Everton mark their first competitive game in the Hill Dickinson Stadium with a victory. 2 assists for Jack Grealish yesterday. Grealish is the right man at the right time to launch a new area. Chris Bascombe in the Telegraph saying Jack Grealish feels like the perfect footballer at the right moment in Everton history. The architecture of the impressive £750 million arena is eye-catching enough, but the finishing touch of a sprinkling of Grealish's magic dust has the capacity to elevate it to another level. Ali, how good was it yesterday to see Jack Grealish?
Brilliant.
Not just playing well, but playing with a beaming smile on his face.
Ah, it's great. It was fantastic. I thought from Everton's point of view, from Jack's point of view, the day just about went perfectly. You know, they obviously got another penalty given against them, but and I think it was kind of fitting that he was involved in the first goal in the new stadium as well, which was pretty well finished off at the back post and die. But no, it was a great day. I was really looking forward to it. I think it was Sam Matterface was at the game and he put something up on one of his posts, and I looked at it. I mean, I'm really looking forward to going to that stadium as well, guys. Sam, Jeff, it looks a beautiful stadium, and I think the Everton fans will be, well, they are very, very proud of it. But in terms of seeing Jack playing that left-hand side, doing what he does best, creating 1 or 2 chances, getting free kicks, good day, very pleased.
Yeah, it was great. My son Matt was there because he's a Brighton supporter, obviously, and he was singing the praises of the stadium. More than he was singing the praises of his team, as it happens. But I thought it was brilliant at the start. You know, the atmosphere looked fantastic as the teams came out, and they came out to the old Z-Cars theme as well, and the proper one this time, not the one that they tried to play at the closing ceremony at good as some of the violinists and so on and so forth. The proper Z-Cars. That was brilliant. And look, you know, Everton got a bit fortunate because Brighton had plenty of
missed
chances.
big chances, didn't they?
Yeah, including the penalty, but nevertheless, a great start for them. Love to see Grealish back, and it's something they can clearly build on.
Yeah, for sure. So Everton beat Brighton 2-0 in their first game in their new stadium. The 4:30 game saw Man United draw away at Fulham 1-1. Back of the mirror, cottage cheesed off. How about that for a headline? Manchester United skipper Bruno Fernandes says he was upset referee Chris Kavanagh did not apologise for bumping him ahead of his penalty, but insisted the official was not to blame for his miss. He mentioned this, Jeff, didn't he, in his Sky Sports interview after the game. He did, to be fair, not blame the referee for missing the penalty, which is good.
That was good of him.
But I know. Yeah. I mean, how would it be his fault that he blasted it into Rose Ed? But then I just thought it was all bizarre, given all the problems, Jeff, Man United are currently facing at the moment, that Bruno Fernandes even had the cheek to mention an accidental coming together between referee and penalty take. It's just bizarre.
Sam, it's pathetic. It is pathetic. It's not a story. Why did he bring? I'm sure he brought it up because he was asked about it in his defence. I think some of the criticism, of him, by the way, from Manchester United fans has been ridiculous as well.
So do I.
But it's not a story. Chris Kavanagh, a little bump, but you're right. At least he took responsibility. You know, he said it was nothing to do with me missing the penalty. The way I hit the ball, and my God, it was an awful penalty, wasn't it?
He hit it like a goalkeeper trying to take a goal kick, Ali. It was a terrible penalty.
It was so uncharacteristic of somebody like him, the way he struck the ball. Because when he's taking a free kick or a set play or a penalty or even a pass of the ball, he always seems to be in control of what he's doing. He was just leaning back. He whipped it the wrong way. Yeah, it was very uncharacteristic.
Well, Ali, I'm telling you, if the referee didn't bump into him, he was putting it top bins. No doubt about it. I can tell. One more for you. Back of the mail. Nuno, I won't walk away from Forest. Nuno Espirito Santo yesterday admitted his Nottingham Forest future remains uncertain, but said talks with the owner Evangelos Marinakis were imminent and urged the club's board to restore harmony. The manager dismissed the idea that he would walk away from the City ground as absurd, but its fate lies in the hands of Marinakis, who did not attend Forest's draw with Palace yesterday. Jeff, we all know that Nuno Espirito Santo made his feelings perfectly clear on Friday before the game. If you had to take a wild guess, how does this situation pan out in the coming days? Is there any way all three, Marinakis, Nuno and Edu, can sit down as grown men and resolve this situation?
Well, when a manager goes head with the chairman, how often in the past has the manager come out on top? Sure, Answer, never. He's done a brilliant job there. I couldn't believe what I was hearing, prior to this game, and the things that he was saying might have all been true. All true. Just keep them to yourself. Keep them in-house. Discuss it with Marinakis. Discuss it with Edu. Do not come out publicly and effectively, say the relationship is broken. I don't think there's any way back. What about you, Coisey?
Well, he's obviously a clever man, but what you've said is 100% true. He can win every fight within that club apart from one, and that's against the owner. He ain't winning that, mate. There's no chance. I said it on Saturday. You're not winning that fight. And he knows that, Jeff. Do you know what I mean? He's not daft enough for a minute to think, I'm going to make these statements, I'm going to come out with this in the press, and I'm going to force the owner to back down, right? Because that isn't happening. So he's either done it he's done it for a reason, best known to himself. Maybe he has said enough. Maybe he's had enough and he thinks, I've had a great season with this club. Maybe he thinks he's taken the club as far as they can go, but they've certainly strengthened again, so he can't have that complaint. So maybe he just fancies a fresh challenge, because if that's the case, he's probably going the best way about it by doing that.
Yeah. Oh, it was interesting. They have strengthened, but Nuno's not giving an inch. After the game, he was saying we still need 3 more players in. We need another goalkeeper and 2 fullbacks just in case of injuries. And I sort of get that, but again, I think keep your own counsel. Don't say it publicly, especially not right now. Thanks, Sam.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
That was Look at Today's Back Page with Tesco Mobile for Business. Up next, we're asking whether football is going back to basics.
The Back Page Review on talkSPORT with Tesco Mobile for Business. Got a side hustle baking bread? Improve your take-home dough with business phone bills for up to 40% less than the big three networks. For verification, see tescomobile.com/business.
When Sir Jim Ratcliffe took control of footballing operations at United, the Manchester-born billionaire was somewhat welcomed in as a homegrown hero, ready to save the club from the dark days of the Glazers. But in just 12 months, he became a punchbag for many fans. So what happened? Well, let's take a look and you can decide for yourself. Over the last 3 years, the club lost 300 million quid, and Ratcliffe rightfully committed to sorting that. But what seemed to get fans' backs up is the way he went about it. For example, talkSPORT understands staff lunch options at the Carrington canteen have been reduced to just soup and sandwiches, which the higher-ups at the club say will save them 1 million quid a year. Now, that might make sense for many who don't get free meals at work themselves, but it does get a little bit more picky than that. It was reported that after staff brought some stationery, they were ordered to send sellotape back because it wasn't considered to be essential. And the reward for being Steward of the Week used to be 50 quid, but that was scrapped and replaced by a paper certificate. But it's not just seemingly stingy decisions. In 2024 alone, Ratcliffe oversaw 250 redundancies, and more were announced at the beginning of 2025. Now, while there are people who acknowledge United's staff numbers are overinflated, it's the optics which aren't great. Add to the mix the introduction of a flat ticket price of 66 quid for every fan, even children, while Casemiro's on 350 grand a week, and the frustration of fans reached fever pitch. Time will tell whether Ratcliffe's cost-cutting measures will improve outcomes at the club, but one thing's for sure, there's a long way to go for United to be back where many say they belong.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me. Now, has there been a potential shift back in footballing style? Is football going back to basics? The reason I ask this, Coisty, lots of reasons actually, but the first one is, it seems to me that now everybody wants a long throw. Now, this was something we didn't see for years and years and years. It went right out of fashion, didn't it? It was, deemed too basic. And then you saw it creep back with the likes of Brentford. But now, we saw it this week with Manchester United. Dorgu, initially trying his long throws. They weren't very long. Then Dallow, when he came on, at Tottenham, when Kevin Danso gets off the bench, he's a weapon with his long throw. How's it happened?
I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think it's common sense, Jeff, right? And it started the first game of the season, which the first game of the season I was at was the Super Cup between Tottenham and PSG. And it makes sense to me, Jeff, right? And you might get the purists saying, it's not pretty in the eye, it's not this, that, it's not the next thing. However, if you're playing against a team like PSG, who will have players who are technically better than you, Jeff, you've got to do something different against them. You've got to try and take them out their comfort zone, right? Now, Tottenham did that superbly well in their overall play, but also they just flung balls into the box, got Romero up, got Van de Ven up, Pap Sarr. They've got boys, they've got lads, Richarlison, that can challenge and put defenders under pressure. And boy, did they do that against PSG. And they did it again to a lesser degree, because you're right, Danso was sitting on the bench, and he's obviously, I think, got the longest throw. But they tried it a couple of times yesterday against City. And I don't mind it at all. As I say, you've got to do something that poses the opposition or gives the opposition a problem. And a long throw, if it's done correctly, put right into the box, it's a good thing. And it's something, I think it's something positive to have in your arsenal. Yeah. Don't have a problem with it, mate.
Because in years gone by, we could all tell you the names of the great long throw exponents, couldn't we? Rory Delap, obviously. Dave Challoner. Remember Ian Hutchison at Chelsea?
You better believe I do, and I thought I was going to pull that one on you. I had that one up my sleeve, Jeff. I'd Hutchison up my sleeve. Was that not the long throw for the win in the cup final against Leeds? Yeah, there you are. Davy Webb coming at the back post.
Brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant.
I remember it well. But you're right. I mean, it's not something new. It might be getting brought back to a certain degree, but it's not new. A new thing, a long throw.
Is it my imagination, or not, Coisty, that more teams as well are not playing short corners so often? They're putting it in a mixer, to be brutally honest. Yeah.
Well, you look at Arsenal, might be the best linking team in the country at doing it again. They get goals on a serious amount of goals from corners, and if you've got the players, I can say they can threaten. If you work on them, which all teams do nowadays, and you can see particularly Arsenal, where we watched them last season. I take great delight in watching them last season, because they used to change their corners. They'd have 3 or 4 start away at the back post, run across the front, make themselves difficult to mark. They'd have a couple would go front, a couple would run round the back, run towards the penalty spot. Clearly working on free kicks, because they're so important nowadays. Yeah, and there's nothing. If you've got people that can head the ball, it's different in the respect now, Jeff. I think there's not so many set plays where they'll hang the ball up, although Tottenham have been doing it where they get Romero round the back and they'll have a couple of people blocking and he'll come round the back and they'll hang it up there. But generally speaking, a lot of the set plays, whether they're free kicks or corners, will be whipped in with a bit of pace, which obviously takes away a lot of the, well, not so much smaller guys, but if you're 6'4", you can hang up. But if you're maybe about 5'10", 5'11", and you clearly want the ball whipped in so you can get in front of somebody, so your movement will dictate and determine you can get in front of somebody to get a nick in the ball. But no, massive part of the game, and I enjoy. I must admit, I do really, and you'll be the same yourself, Jeff. I enjoy seeing a well-worked free kick or a well-worked corner come to fruition.
Yeah, so look, throw in set plays almost going full circle. I wonder if the fashion of goalkeepers who can use their feet is about to change as well, and people will revert back to somebody who can keep the ball out of their net.
Yeah, well, that's never changed for me, Jeff. If a goalkeeper is good with the ball at his feet, my mum, the old dinosaur coming out again, old pterodactyl McCoist. I think it's far more important he can keep it out with his hands than he can play with his feet. I just think that position would determine which is the most important. And if he can play with their feet, of course it's a bonus. Of course it's a good thing. You can play in the game. But you'll never convince me otherwise. You give me a goalkeeper and keep the ball at the net with his hands and make good saves. That's the most important thing. Well, I was obviously at a game at the weekend where the goalkeeper was caught short for the second goal, and it was a mistake. It was a simple mistake. I think it was Gonzalez. He tries to play the ball to. He gives him his right side. It's a poor pass, and it's to the wrong side of the player. If he was going to do it, which I would never be thinking about doing in the first place, Jeff. I mean, it defies logic to me why you would roll a ball to a player in your own team, maybe 6-7 yards away from goal, and he's under pressure. I just wouldn't do that. I would go long, right? But that's just me. But he gave it to him the wrong side. He's got to give him at left side. Gives a mistake, 2-0, and you're effectively out. The game's dead and buried. Is it getting back to basics? I'm not sure I'd make that. I think that might be a bit of a sweeping statement after the first round of games in the top flight. I don't think. I certainly don't think we've seen the last of it, Jeff.
No, but I'll tell you what, Coach. The reason I suggest that is, and I'm not sure whether it's down to one mistake, but City are the ultimate passing machine, aren't they?
Yes.
And Pep's always wanted a keeper who could play it out from the back, who could use his feet. But right now, it seems that they're back in for Gianluigi Donnarumma, who's reportedly agreed personal terms with them. Let's hear from our European football expert, Andy Brassel, with more on this transfer.
Player power at Marseille and Paris Saint-Germain this weekend is extraordinary, because if you think the club at Marseille is resolved to throw out Adrien Rabiot, and there's some pushback of that from the players, I think really the club at PSG wanted Donnarumma to leave through the back door, and the players really insisted he was given a send-off. This is before he's agreed a move anywhere else, by the way, and before a move has been sealed anywhere else. On Friday night against Angers, he came out in his civvies and waved to the crowd, and Marquinhos was pushing him towards the fans, and all the players.
Well, what he did in the quarter, semi-final, and final of the Champions League, he deserves that kind of send-off, I think.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. But it's so strange seeing it happen before the move's actually been sealed, I guess. Anyway, the latest reports that we have are that Manchester City and Donnarumma have agreed terms. Now, this is all dependent on what happens with Ederson. Now, I think you're looking at where Galatasaray are. Obviously, there's not such a rush for them as there is for Manchester City.
Yeah, so City seemingly back in for Donnarumma, and that goes against really all of Pep's principles in the past, and I just wonder whether they're changing style as well, whether the sort of tick-a-tack days are dying, and City, in general terms, are getting it forward a bit more quickly.
Well, they'll have to, Jeff, because having seen Donnarumma, who incidentally probably put in a couple of the best goalkeeping performances I saw last season. Alisson's performance in the Parc des Princes was incidentally the best I saw all season. Incredible performance. But Donnarumma had some magical performances for PSG. But I don't remember any of his highlights being with his feet, to be quite frank with you, Jeff. So if they do sign him, I would suggest to you that there'll have to be a change in their mindset, because there is absolutely no way, I think, that the Man City back four can or will have the same confidence in passing him the ball than they would Ederson, for example. So right away, that's a change in your tactics. So if he does come, it would have to be. I think it would have to be a different Man City.
If you notice a change in City's style, really, maybe going back to the days when, Gabriel Jesus led the line. It's very different now with Haaland or Marmoush on the occasions that he's started there.
Yeah, well, they don't. You look at them, And the one thing you would say, if you're playing against Manchester City, Jeff, you would want the goalkeeper to kick it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
With the exception of Haaland, if you're going to fire it long, you're going to fire it long to Haaland and then get players round about him, because that's your only chance. With the greatest respect, if it goes in a wider position, they've not really got any real physicality. So if I'm playing against Manchester City and I can make the goalkeeper kick it, and I think it's happy days. So it'll be really interesting to see how they do change it. Because if they do get Donnarumma, as I say, Jeff, I would think there would have to be a certain change in their style, just because I don't think he's as confident. Well, he's certainly, for me, not as good. There's not too many goalkeepers that are as good with the ball at their feet as Ederson, to be fair. And Donnarumma's certainly not that.
Yeah. I think if you look at City, they've been absolutely brilliant. Everybody's tried to copy their style, haven't they?
Yeah.
And I just wonder whether they need to change, because maybe they've been found out a bit by the likes of Thomas Frank.
Well, I'm looking at that game on Saturday. Tottenham were excellent. City had one or two chances. I mean, they could have and should have scored. Haaland plays a great ball through. I think it was Marmoush first half. Goalie makes an excellent save. But apart from that, you know, they didn't create an awful lot. They created one in the second half when, once again, Tottenham made a mistake in the back four, and Haaland's a little bit slack with a pass. City should have scored. But generally speaking, all the plaudits went to Tottenham at the weekend, the way they played the game, the way they performed, the shape, everything about them. Not for the first time this season. I thought they were excellent against PSG, a comfortable victory last week in the league against Burnley. And I thought at the weekend, more than deserving of the 3 points. And without getting carried away, you'd have to say Spurs fans will be delighted with the start they've had.
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as football is concerned, maybe it's a case of back to the future.
Yeah.
It's sort of looking that way a bit, isn't it? Long throws, put it in the mixer, forget about goalkeepers who can just use their feet. Back to basics in many respects. You could play in this game, Coisty.
Well, I've got to say to you, I'm looking at that St Mirren Rangers game yesterday. I was thinking, all boots dusted out myself, to be honest with you. No, but I was looking. I really, really enjoyed the Tottenham game at the weekend, Jeff. You know, and trying to get a bit of balance. I mean, City were disappointing. I think they still look weak defensively. They're losing goals. I'm not sure about the right back area. Ait Nouri getting taken off was a blow to them early on, but certainly the balance in the middle of the park wasn't ideal. Ryan Cherki, I was disappointed in. I think he's an excellent player and he will play better, but he was poor. Gonzalez, I wasn't sure about the balance they had, and they were up, and it was a complete opposite with Tottenham. Tottenham were a breath of fresh air, Jeff. They really, really were. In all departments of their side, I don't think they'd a failure. You know, and they've got, you know, they've obviously had the disappointment, if you like, of Gibbs White, and obviously Izzy at the during the week there, but I tell you what, it didn't hold them back at the weekend.
No, it didn't. I think the fear factor has gone as far as City are concerned, so maybe it is time for a change of style. We shall see. You're listening to talkSPORT Breakfast with Jeff and Ali. Up next, you'll hear from Tommy Fleetwood on his maiden PGA Tour victory.
Tommy rolls it up to the hole from 8 feet 10 inches away to the cup. Off to the right, it misses. Tommy will walk up and tap it in for the wind. Tommy Fleetwood is the winner of the 2025 Tour Championship. And with that, he captures the PGA Tour's ultimate prize, the FedEx Cup. At long last, it's the sweet taste of victory on the PGA Tour for Tommy Fleetwood.
Absolutely loved it. Let's get a bit more on this now and cross over to talkSPORT's golf reporter, Sean O'Brien. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Sean.
Morning, guys. How are we doing?
Yeah, well, we're doing great, but not as good as Tommy, obviously. Look, I mean, the ridiculous thing is, when he's 3 shots clear with 2 holes to go, I think everybody's still biting their nails.
Yeah, it's never stress-free with Fleetwood. I think if you ask most golf fans the 2 things they wanted most this season, it probably would have been Rory finally winning the Masters and Fleetwood finally winning a PGA Tour event. It was such an incredible moment and such a long time coming because Tommy Fleetwood is a generational talent, and the fact that he played 163 PGA Tour events without winning kind of always felt like one of sport's great injustices. And it meant that, as you allude to there, every time he did get into contention, it was just so stressful. And he threw it away on the 18th at the Travellers in June. He did the same thing at the FedEx St. Jude a few weeks ago, and always felt like he had a kind of mental problem. So we know he's got the game to win, but he just seemed to lack that kind of killer instinct to kind of put his foot down and hit the shots when it really matters most. So I think you think of Tiger Woods back in the day or Scotty Scheffler now, and they get better when they're in contention, and Fleetwood always seemed to get worse. But it was nervy again yesterday around the turn. He did make a sweat for it, but it was the right stuff when he needed it, and he finally kind of removed that scar tissue and got one over the line. And he picked an amazing one to win as well, because he actually said before the week began it would be quite funny if he won, because he takes home the FedEx Cup alongside it and the $10 million bonus that comes with it. And usually they kind of changed the Tour Championship this year, because Scheffler would have usually started on 10 under and everyone would have had starting strokes based on their points over the season. But the Tour Championship this year was a level playing field, which felt a little bit unfair on Scheffler because he was so dominant this year. And in football terms, it's kind of like getting to the last 10 minutes of the season and saying next goal wins. But take nothing away from Fleetwood. This was like a huge event, the 30 best players in the world this year. And credit to him for bouncing back after some seriously painful moments this season, because he's one of the good guys in golf as well. And you saw Justin Rose and Shane Lowry waiting for him behind the green. So he's a really likeable guy, and everyone's just absolutely thrilled for him.
I take your point there, Sean, regarding the Scheffler situation. However, that's probably a conversation for another day. See the victory, mate. is it living proof that golf at that level maybe is 80% mental? And the reason I'm saying that, because we know he can play. You know, he had 7 wins already, I think, on the European Tour, and his form had been brilliant. He had 30 top 5 finishes in his career, 6 of them this year. Jeff and I were just speaking. He's probably, without winning it, has been in absolutely tremendous form. But just how important is the mental side of it at that level?
I think so important. I think winning's hard. Golfers lose a lot more than they win. And I think the problem with Tommy Fleetwood was that the more he saw himself get into contention and not win, the more that scar tissue just builds and builds. And he actually spoke about it afterwards, and he admitted that he was really uncomfortable. Some people rise to those kind of occasions, but there was just something niggling at him in the back of his mind when he got onto the back 9 and he was leading. I think I always thought Tommy Fleetwood just needed to just run out in front and win one by a serious margin. I would have been nervous for him if he wasn't leading by 3 on that par 5, because essentially the only way he could have lost it on 18 was a double bogey. And it is great because now that he's got this first one over the line, you just think it'll be easier for him next time he's in contention. I know we said that about Rory at the Masters, and it didn't quite pan out that way at the other 3 majors, but you do also see Rory on the golf course now, and he looks so much more relaxed. And the problem with Tommy was it was his body language as well. He just looked nervous. Putts were kind of staying short of the hole, and he couldn't really get his shoulders moving, whereas he'll kind of walk around with his chest out now, and if he ever gets into contention, he'll know that he can get the job done.
Yeah. I mean, even walking down the 18th, I looked at him and I was wondering what's going through his mind, because, there were no Fleetwood smiles, none of the usual sort of little gestures and things. He was very solemn, very grim-faced, and I can only think he's still thinking of what might go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. He didn't look like he truly kind of celebrated until he knocked in the little gimme. And bear in mind, he could have taken about 4 putts there and still won. It just didn't. It never kind of feels like it's done with Fleetwood. But I really hope that will be different next time round. And of course, it's fantastic for Team Europe as well, isn't it? That we've got a player like Fleetwood in such great form ahead of the Ryder Cup, because that's going to roll around quite quickly now. I think Team Europe's pretty much locked in. We had Rasmus Højgaard taking the last spot of the automatic qualifiers at the British Masters yesterday. So you've got Rory, Bob McIntyre, Tommy Fleetwood, Justin Rose, Tyrrell Hatton and Rasmus Højgaard locked in as the automatic qualifiers. And it feels like the 6 automatic picks kind of sort themselves out with Shane Lowry, Sepp Straka, John Rahm, Ludvig Åberg, Victor Hovland and Matt Fitzpatrick. And now the big story on Wednesday is will Keegan Bradley pick himself for Team USA? So it's been a brilliant season. Rory winning in April, Tommy winning in August, and hopefully we get ourselves a little Team Europe win in September as well.
Sean, thanks very much indeed.
Thanks, Sean.
Nice one, guys. Thank you.
The only one of those names that I might disagree with, Coisty, I don't know what you think, is Seb Straka. Terrific player. Not got a great record in the real big events. And I look at Harry Hall and how he's been playing during the course of this year, and for me, he would be one of the picks.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. I think the one thing is so important in this particular Ryder Cup coming up, and I mentioned the mental strength. The one thing the boys, and I'm reading the quote there for Justin Rose, and I don't have any doubt that Justin Rose means it when he writes and says, watching Tommy win, he says, was just as good as me winning. They're gonna have to be together, because you know how difficult it's going to be with that crowd, mate. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it very much.
Me too.
Indeed, yeah. Thanks, Coisty. Still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Find everything you need for your landscaping project in stock and available for delivery. Terms and conditions apply.
Manchester United fans, please get in touch. We want to hear from you this morning. Actually, as we do most mornings. Alan Pardew had this to say yesterday evening about Bruno Fernandes's role in the side.
Going back into that number 8 position, which I don't think suits him, I thought it was a problem, because then Amorim started changing things and you just looked all at sea then.
Where does Bruno Fernandes fit into this current Manchester United side? He's had a lot of criticism after his performance yesterday. After spending £200 million on the forward line, no goals from any United player in the first 2 games. Are you underwhelmed? Are you surprised that Šeško didn't get a start at Craven Cottage yesterday? Are you worried? Let us know. 03717 223344 is the number you need. And that was our look ahead with Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Join the club and get low trade prices. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
Cricket balls are red, baseballs are white, American footballs are brown, and tennis balls are yellow. You don't even think about it, really. But the story behind the tennis ball is actually quite interesting.
Good morning, it is 2 minutes past 7 o'clock Monday, August the 25th, Bank Holiday Monday, of course, if you're having a lie-in. I am
French sport. It dates back to the 12th century.
Let's get some headlines now with Tom
handmade balls.
talkSPORT Sports Update with Trusted Trader. Leave even more customers as happy as a clam. Join the Trusted Trader professionals and watch your business bloom.
Cork, wool, chalk, animal fur, even human hair.
Thank you, Jeff. Good morning. Manchester United wanted to win so bad they forgot the basics of football. The sentiment from Ruben Amorim after their 1-1 draw at Fulham yesterday. He says the goals will come, but it's all part of a process.
We have to grow up as a team, but
out of that,
for me the most important thing is during the week they are working really hard. I felt that today they worked really hard. We are going to improve.
Meanwhile, the former Premier League manager, talkSPORT's Alan Pardew, says if Amorim can't find a proper place for Bruno, it might be time to say goodbye.
I do think they need to find where they're going to play him.
Step forward,
That's
English
the
lawyer and tennis
Cunha in the team. I mean,
enthusiast
Cunha
John
looks
Moy
like
Heathcote,
he's the new Cantona. He's the man.
Elsewhere yesterday, Everton opened their new Hill Dickinson Stadium in style, beating Brighton 2-0, and it was honours even in El Clasico at Selhurst Park. As it ended 1-1 between Palace and Forest. The hosts are facing an FA investigation, though, after fans held up a banner about Forest owner Evangelos Marinakis. After a battle at Eastlake, a new champion has been crowned on the PGA Tour.
At long last, it's the sweet taste of victory on the PGA Tour.
So the International Tennis Federation, sensing an opportunity, started developing.
That's the sound of Tommy Fleetwood winning his first tournament on US soil in 164 attempts on talkSPORT 2 last night. He wins the season-long PGA Tour title and a cool $10 million to boot. And Emma Raducanu says you don't want to be out by Sunday lunchtime. After cruising through her first-round tie at the US Open Tennis, she beat Japan's Ina Shibahara 6-1, 6-2 in 62 minutes, the quickest Grand Slam victory of her career. British #1 Jack Draper is in action later today. Get more at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
A new poll suggests less than 30% of us believe the Prime Minister's handling the small boats crisis well. And as the Notting Hill Carnival enters its second day, police say 140 people were arrested on the first day. More at 5:30.
talkSPORT weather with Quick Fit. Come rain or shine, wherever and whenever suits you with our mobile tyre fitting service. Now that will have you driving away happy every time. Conditions apply.
Very warm for many today with plenty of sunshine, breezy with some cloud arriving from the west later on.
Of world-class sports broadcast legends.
talkSPORT Superstar Breakfast.
Here we go. Supersize your morning. The Superstar Breakfast with Ally McCoist and Jeff Stelling on talkSPORT.
Here we go.
A very good morning to you. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Ally McCoist, and the Arnold Clark app. Buy a car and opt into Arnold Clark Rewards to enjoy access to great giveaways and everyday perks. On the way for you this morning, former West Ham star Tony Gale will be joining us to discuss the problems at the London Stadium. There's a small matter of the Isak custody match tonight as Newcastle host Liverpool. Former Liverpool and England star John Barnes will be joining us to talk about that. Troy Deeney will be on the show as we find out if he has what it takes to make the SAS final. Scares the pants off me, I'll tell you that. That'll be on the air tonight, by the way. At the same time, he's commentating for talkSPORT at St James's Park. And I'm not sure. Some of the things that Troy has said about Newcastle, I'm not sure which is the most dangerous, the SAS or a trip to St James's Park this evening. But first, we have a huge weekend of football to look back on.
Nodding down past him and put in by Chalobah. It's 5-1. A night that started with a world-class goal and plenty of positives. It has transformed into a complete Hammer horror show. West Ham 1, Chelsea 5.
Oh, given away stupidly by Trafford. Here's Richarlison, Polinia. It is 2-0. What on earth are Manchester City doing? Well, everybody was laughing at Spurs this week. They ain't laughing now. Manchester City 0, Tottenham 2.
Upsets Gyökeres and slams it into the bottom left-hand corner. He has 2 now. It's Arsenal 5, Leeds 0.
First ever league match at the new ground, the Hill Dickinson Stadium on the banks of the River Mersey. Everton 2, Brighton 0, and what a goal from James Garner. And it's a winning start at that brand new home for Everton after 133 years at Goodison Park.
Yeah, it was quite a weekend, and of course it's not over just yet with Newcastle against Liverpool this evening. Manchester United still winless, of course. Bruno Fernandes asked to play in the 8 role again at Craven Cottage. What did Ruben Amorim have to say about his lineup after the game?
We try to understand the game and to move the pieces according to the game. So my feeling was that we need more possessions. So we try to put Bruno and Maze in the middle of the park. We want to press a little bit higher. In this moment we need to win the game. So Mason has more pace to do that. Bruno has more pace to do that. We were not thinking to drop and to defend the box. So sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong.
Manchester United fans want him to get it right more often than wrong, which is not really happening just at the moment. Look, joining us now to talk about all the discussion points from the weekend, writer, journalist, co-host of the Sunday edition, Henry Winter. Morning, Henry.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Ali. How are we?
Yeah, very good.
Very well, thank you. Very well.
I hadn't heard this quote before, so I just want to start with that, where Alan Pardew's been saying Bruno Fernandes, if they can't find an appropriate role for him, it might be time to say goodbye. Surely not.
Well, it's a bit late in the window, but I completely echo what Alan's been saying. And I think a lot of Manchester United fans will be saying the same. They've got too many number 10s. Mount's best as a number 10. They've obviously got Cunha and Mbeumo who've come in as expensive 10s. And Cunha is, fantastic 10. And Bruno Fernandes, as any Manchester United fan will tell you, is best as a 10. He's not an 8. He hasn't got the defensive discipline. He doesn't track his runners when he goes. He's a fabulous player, but he's a creative player. He's not a defensive player. And Casemiro doesn't really have the legs. And that central midfield, you can spend 200 million quid on a new strike force, but you've got to service them. You've got to provide a platform for them. And the balance is wrong there at the moment.
How does he solve it, Henry? That's obviously a big question. I mean, I'm looking at it myself, and I agree with what you say, because the one thing that isn't up for debate, they have got some serious talent now, I think, in and around those areas. But how did you go around fixing it? Because, looking at United, I know Dorgu gets forward on the left-hand side and Diallo starting on. I thought they looked a little bit weaker in wider areas yesterday.
Ali, it's such a good point. And sort of we were raised on a Manchester United that played with width, which played with wingers, whether it's Giggs, whether it was going back to George Best era. That was what Manchester United were about, flying wingers. It was just one of the reasons why they've always been so exciting to watch. Wing-backs, look, it's Amorim's system, 3-4-2-1. Oliver Glasner, to be fair, has made it work pretty efficiently at Crystal Palace, so it can be done. But the problem that Amorim's got is that he's inherited a squad that has been developed by 4 or 5 previous managers not to play necessarily with wing-backs. So you either give him time and money and say, right, turn the system around, get rid of the bomb squad, which seems to be mainly populated with wingers, and move to this new system. But it's going to be painful.
Wonderful day as far as Everton fans were concerned yesterday at the new stadium. I thought the pictures were absolutely brilliant, Henry. I've got a text in from Noel, who says, isn't it great to see Jack Grealish released from jail after 5 years under a cruel governor who didn't allow him to play his natural game? Imagine Matt Busby telling Bestie to pass, and don't dare beat a player. Has he got it about right?
Well, I've never been to prison, and I don't really intend to start doing that. But I can't imagine His Majesty's establishments pay you, whatever it is, 200 grand a week, and you get to run around doing something which we'd all do for nothing. So, no, I'm not a huge fan of the idea of Manchester City as a prison. I mean, we also forget that it was, a couple of years ago, Jack Grealish had a fantastic season, played in the treble, and was outstanding. But, in terms of that freedom, David Moyes, who Ali knows well, is the perfect manager for Jack at this stage of his career. 29 years old, his career's been drifting. He needs to play with a smile again. He needs a platform around him, but he also needs to be pushed. And I think David Moyes will do that. And it was great just to see Jack Grealish go outside a player, as he did for Njai's goal, as well as sort of go inside and showing his creativity. And look, it's great just to see Jack, who's one of the nicest guys you can meet, playing with a smile again.
That's brilliant. Henry, the thing I can't wait to see is Henry Winter starring in Shawshank Redemption 2. That's what I'm looking forward to more than anything. But on a serious note, mate, I was at Manchester City, Tottenham at the weekend, and boy, were Tottenham impressive. Where are you on it at the moment?
Yeah, well, I wasn't able to break into to Manchester City at the weekend. I was incarcerated at home eating my gruel. Now, I tell you what, I mean, it was a week ago that we were praising Manchester City. They won 4-0 at Molineux. I mean, look, they've obviously got to address the keeper issue, whether that's Donnarumma coming in, completely different goalkeeper in terms of his style to James Trafford, or you back Trafford, who was getting praised last week. Remember, they got Rodri. I mean, a fit Rodri is probably in the top 3 most important players in the country, Ballon d'Or winner. So when he's back anchoring that midfield, the defence is more secure and the attack has more options because of his passing. So I wouldn't panic completely about Manchester City yet. It's certainly not a prison. And let's praise Tottenham Hotspur, whose midfield was fantastic, who have been so structured and well organised by a brilliant new manager in Thomas Frank.
Just a quick word on one of the new managers in the Premier League, Keith Andrews. First win for him. I mean, what an occasion for him. And maybe he's taken the first step, just the first small step to proving a few people wrong.
Yeah, I mean, if we look on football as a soap opera, you always want new characters to come in and do well. And I think he's a bright young manager. He's obviously been working on the set piece side. Brentford have a tradition of promoting from within. It didn't work out too badly with Thomas Frank. I know he had more experience than Keith. I mean, I know Keith, and he's a really interesting character. And I hope it does well, because you want to see young managers given a chance, and the players are responding to him. You look at Damsgaard, how well he played, and Brentford a bit like that knight in Monty Python, that keeps on losing significant limbs and keeps fighting on. So they're not going to go down.
Henry, brilliant. Thank you very much indeed.
Brilliant, Henry.
Pleasure. Back to prison.
It was a great day, by the way, at Brentford for more than one reason, not just the fact they won their first game under Keith Andrews. Had a couple of big name guests there, Lee Hendry and Claudia Schiffer. Coisty Claudia Schiffer was there. Can you believe it?
No, I can't actually, but I tell you what, that's a double act I never thought I'd be talking about on a Monday morning at a Brentford game.
Yeah,
quite honest with you.
I'd just like to say I'm not linking the two of them in any way, shape or form.
much to Lee's disappointment.
I think Claudia's husband's a shareholder at Brentford, which was the reason she was there. Brilliant. Great day for Brentford fans.
Oh, for sure.
Up next, Bukayo Saka picks up another injury for Arsenal. Gunners fans, are you worried?
Continue in the West End of London, Charing Cross Road blocked by an accident. We also have a collision at Mortlake, which means a blockage of Lower Richmond Road. So the road closures until early tomorrow for Notting Hill Carnival. Expect delays in West Yorkshire around Bramham Park. There's road closures after Leeds Festival. Same again in Cheshire around Daresbury after Creamfields. The trains, the Piccadilly line in London has severe delays between Acton Town and Uxbridge. The Circle line and Hammersmith and City line not stopping at Ladbroke Grove. I'm Simon James.
Super real kick-by-kick commentary from more leagues than ever.
Oh, it's in the crossbar!
Hear over 500 games of live football.
What a fantastic strike!
A new sensational season starts this August on talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2.
Good morning, very nearly 7:20, Monday, August the 25th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with us live from Glasgow. The weekend starting with a night to forget for West Ham as they were thumped 5-1 at home to Chelsea. Under pressure manager Graham Potter spoke after the match.
No, as I said, it's a tough evening for us, and I feel for the supporters. They want more, and we let them down today. We let them down because the goals we gave away were too cheap. So there's nothing I can say that's going to make that feeling any better at the moment. They'll be hurting, and it's painful. So it's just a case of we need to do better, and we need to work harder.
Difficult times for West Ham fans. Difficult time for Graham Potter as well. And I look at some of the recruitment over the years, the lack of recruitment here. I mean, if you looked at Friday night, Coisty, the goalkeeper had an absolute shocker. They are defensively awful, conceding 8 and 2. They've got no legs in midfield. They've got a desperately weak bench. He's almost being hung out to dry, isn't he? Whatever you think of him, there has been no money pumped in whatsoever, and seemingly they haven't got any money.
No, it's really concerning. I mean, they take the lead, they score a great goal back at that, and then defensively they're just all over the place. I mean, and probably one of the better defenders, Wan-Bissaka, is just completely switching off at the back post and things like that. And you get things like that. You go on a run, Jeff, you know what it's like, and before you know it, you're on a spiral. But you're right, I look at the squad, and Ward-Prowse is a good football player, so is Souček. But they do have a lack of pace in the middle of the park, mate, as well. They've got Bowen up front, who's capable of scoring goals and winning games, but he can't do it all himself. I'm a little bit worried for West Ham, to be brutally honest with you, Jeff. I really am, mate.
Yeah, and there've been some terrible transfer dealings over the years. No question of that. And it seems like they have to sell to buy, but they've got virtually no sellable assets, have they?
They've sold them. They've sold them, really, haven't they?
Yeah. Paqueta and forgive me, West Ham fans, your other sellable asset is Jared Bowen. I know he's under contract till 2030.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But it's an impossible situation for the manager and the fans.
Yeah, and you look at, you mentioned, players of quality. Kudus, again, I thought he had another great game at the weekend. That's another month away. So it's really, really worrying, mate. Really worrying for Tottenham. I beg your pardon, for West Ham. You look at it, and I'm just having a quick look at their bench. What did they have in their bench? Callum Wilson's obviously, you got to keep him fit. Callum, I'm not sure. I think Callum Wilson would score goals, but I'm not sure he's going to score enough goals in that team. Do you know what I mean? And there's nothing come flying out in the bench. I've got to say to you, Jeff, I'd be a little bit concerned if I was a West Ham supporter, mate. I really would.
Yeah, I think very concerned. I think most of them are. Right, let's focus on things at the Emirates. Sam Ellard is back with us. Hi, Sam.
Hi, guys. The Arsenal 5, Leeds 0. So a comfortable victory for Arsenal on Saturday against the newly promoted side. But lots of different and interesting talking points from the game. Before the game, there was the official announcement that Eberechi Eze is an Arsenal player. There was a great announcement video as well, which featured Arsenal legend Ian Wright, who knows a thing or two about playing for both Crystal Palace and Arsenal. Eze was at the Emirates, got a really nice reception. 5 goals for Arsenal, 2 from set pieces, and also 2 goals as well for the new centre-forward, Victor Gyökeres. His first goals for the club. There was an injury scare for Arsenal with Saka and Odegaard going off the pitch. But reports today say that Arsenal were giving a lift last night when scans indicated Saka and Odegaard may not have sustained long-term injuries, which is good news for Arsenal. And then also as well, perhaps the icing on the cake on Saturday was the debut of Max Dalman at 15 years of age, coming off the bench, playing in the Premier League for the first time. Just on that, Ali, I mean, I'm sure you remember your debut, but 15 years of age. I mean, we've heard so much about this boy, so many people connected with the club, talk about him so highly, but something about that number, 15 years of age, it almost doesn't sound real, does it?
The first person I heard actually talking about the lad was Jamie Redknapp. Actually, I think one of the podcasts, Jamie was singing his praises when he was 14, I think it was, and said he had an incredible future. But you're right. And Jeff and I speak about it, Sam, on a regular basis, right? There is nothing better as a football fan as seeing one of your kids coming into the team, breaking into the team and playing. There's just some magic about it. And the kid come on, played on the right-hand side, and he certainly doesn't lack in confidence, you know, and he's clearly got a very, very bright future ahead of him. But Arsenal himself, you know, everything in the garden was rosy apart from the concerns about the injuries. You know, 5 goals, clean sheet, your centre-forwards off and running with a couple of goals. But the best news that they'll receive this Monday morning will be if those scans on Saka and Odegaard aren't too serious. That's the best news they can receive.
Yeah, when you look at the future as well, it wasn't just Downman. At the end of the game with Downman 15, 2 18-year-olds and a 21-year-old on the pitch. So that's absolutely brilliant as far as the future is concerned. I don't think we should get too carried away, though, about the fact that they've, you know, put Leeds to bed 5-0. The bigger test, of course, much bigger test will come next weekend when they're away at Anfield.
Doesn't come much tougher than that, does it? Just on Victor Gyökeres, Ali. I mean, he took a little bit of criticism last week, didn't he, in the game against Man United? I love, by the way. Did you see his celebration into the camera where he combed his hair over into the camera because he got a bit of stick last weekend for having more touches of his hair than he did shots on target.
Very good.
So I love the fact though that he knew the people were taking the mick out of him. So he must have been checking social media after the game.
I don't mind that either.
He shows it for the personality.
Correct.
Exactly.
Correct.
I like that. But
I felt for him a little bit, guys. I felt for him a little bit last week because as good as Arsenal were defensively, and well, they still gave it a couple of chances defensively, but you know, I thought they were kind of poorer in forward areas. Arsenal, having had that brilliant result at Old Trafford, brilliant result. You know, you could argue we're nitpicking a little bit, but I just felt he was a little bit isolated. In the period he was on the pitch, I always felt this was the perfect game for him at the weekend to get himself off and running, and certainly he's done that.
Yeah, and the nice bit in the papers as well here, Eberechi felt like he was on trial at Arsenal for 4 years, trying to convince them to sign him every time he played there. Some nice quotes, Jeff, about how every time he went back to the Emirates, playing for Crystal Palace, he sort of imagined where he used to sit as a young kid, going to watch the games with his brothers, and almost looked at it as a trial that I want to obviously win, but I want to make sure that, you know, I impress Arsenal, where obviously he supported as a young boy. Then fast forward a few years, he's back there walking out to a standing ovation, and he's a lovely, lovely lad, isn't he? You couldn't help but be happy for him.
Yeah, I bet every Tottenham fan feels that.
Apart from Spurs fans, yeah, maybe that, yeah.
He's a wonderful footballer. He comes over absolutely brilliantly, and he is going to be a big player for Arsenal this season, in my opinion. You know, I think he's got the X factor. He's just something different about him.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I can't believe the decision he made to play on as normal at Crystal Palace when there's other teams interested in him. That'll never catch on. That carry on. That'll never catch.
Don't tell Isak about that. Also, Ali, I'm not sure if you can see Jeff. But we talk about sort of Gyökeres making sure his hair was in perfect place for Man United away. I tell you what, Jeff, the way your hair's combed over this morning, I'm surprised.
Always immaculate.
I'm surprised you have how many flicks of the hair are we going to see during the breakfast show this morning? There's one. There we go, Jeff. Good man.
Yeah. Just one or two.
Looking fresh,
the
Jeff.
man's immaculate. You got off his back, you.
I'm saying it looks immaculate.
Hey, just very briefly, boys. I mean, you know, Arsenal away to Liverpool, 3rd game of the season. Is it just me?
Too early.
Or is it too soon? You know, it's like Christmas in August.
It feels like the second game should be 3rd to 4th game towards the end of the season. Yeah. And the first time they play should absolutely be in December. Too early, Ali. Who does the fixtures?
We've not even spoken about tonight. Never mind anything else. There's some great games, man. Some of the football we've got is just fantastic. Bring it on, I say.
El Isakiko tonight? That doesn't really work, does it, Jeff?
Thank you, Sam. There's the door.
Okay.
Brilliant. Thanks, mate. Up next, how do you pick yourself up from a 7-1 defeat?
Prime Minister is doing a good job when it comes to the small boats crisis. For Labour voters, that's below 50%. It adds to piling pressure on the PM, who's said to be considering reforming the asylum appeals process to help clear the backlog. Paul Richards is a former Labour special advisor. He says fresh thinking is needed.
I think they do just try 10 years and if that includes Medina, Roy McIlroy overslept and was in danger of missing his Sunday tea time. Thankfully, travel organiser Erica Stoll sorted him a police escort.
Police say 140 arrests were made on the first day of the Notting Hill Carnival. Millions of people are expected to attend the festival as it rolls into its second day. Police have already admitted they're using facial recognition technology. Some parts of the UK could hit close to 30 degrees later. Experts believe the hottest area will be around Chester, and the 26-degree bank holiday record in Wales could be broken. It won't last long though, with rain forecast for much of the UK from tomorrow. And the Tories are calling for on-the-spot fines for people who play loud music on public transport. Railway bylaws already prohibit playing music if someone finds it annoying. The party wants similar protections for bus passengers.
Really
going after the key issues there. Amorim says his team is still part of the growing process, and Tommy Fleetwood's a PGA Tour champion. More at 8.
It's another far, far away day of fairy tale football action on talkSPORT. So let's take a look at today's magical lineup. In midfield, as expected, of course, it's Martin Odegaard.
Fantasy football's great.
An Eden Wizard.
Nothing beats the real thing.
Alongside Gundo Gandalf. Well, he shall not pass. Well, let's hope he does.
What a stunning spell this has been.
And finally, Erling Haaland.
talkSPORT. There's the Premier League record. Where football magic lives.
Look, ball control for a better Britain. It's the Superstar Breakfast. Here we go.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT. Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling. Ally McCoist is with us live from Glasgow. We're with Arnold Clark. Build your own car deal online, or with a few clicks, they make buying your next car easy. Now, time is running out to enter our VIP competition as the NFL returns to Wembley in October. The LA Rams take on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we're giving you the chance to win 6 seats in a private box with full hospitality plus $5,000 spending money. But it all ends tonight at 11 o'clock, so be quick. Here's how to enter.
18 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word cash to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission or enter for free by calling 0330 880 338. All entries must be received by 25th August at 11 p.m. This is a talkSPORT limited promotion run on talkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. See talkSPORT.com for terms and conditions.
The very best of luck to you. Now, a story in The Sun this morning. Some fans are paying nearly £770 for a kickabout with Manchester United great Paul Scholes. He's taking part in an hour-long five-a-side game at Hotel Football, which is a stone's throw from Old Trafford. Coisty, there's an idea for you.
Oh, absolutely. By the way, I'm trying to work that one out. You're paying £770 for a kickabout. The chances are, if you're playing against him, you're not going to get a kick off it. So it's going to be a long hour, by the way, if you're playing against wee Scholesy, because he never gives the ball away.
It is.
So it's going to be 770 quid to do a lot of chasing, it looks like, but it sounds like to me. But no, what a player the wee man was, Jeff. He's one of my favourites of all time, a wee fella.
Absolutely.
What a footballer. Wasn't he just magic?
He was absolutely superb. But that is a long and expensive kickabout, isn't it? That's for sure. Wow. Okay, it is time now for a bit of this.
How can you not love the EFL when it throws up moments like this?
Here's Hogg! Deeney!
Oh, it's come back to Zamora!
Kick off again! City fans can't believe it. What a match.
Windass! Quite simply destined to be from Team Windass.
We're in London. Hey, we're in London, aren't we?
Leeds can beat you 4-1. They're a fantastic team, but we had someone in the bushes that day twice this season now.
No sirve para nada.
I didn't know I would have such a reaction.
That ghost didn't head one in on Saturday. We didn't defend properly, you great chicken nugget.
We hear that Jimmy Glass, the goalkeeper, has scored for Carlisle.
You just never know which twist any game is going to turn next.
Must I forever be?
Yeah, time for a look at the EFL this weekend. In the Championship, of course, Stoke City are top of the table, and Coisty, producer Ollie, big Stoke fan, of course. I think he went to the game, and that's why he's not here today. He's still nursing his hangover from that shock defeat. I mean, he's getting carried away. 3 wins out of 3.
It doesn't take a lot for him to get carried away, but with some justification.
Yeah,
Mark Robins doing a brilliant job. It's no major surprise, though, really, is it, Jeff? He's a good manager, good coach. I think the only thing that maybe the wee black mark I was watching was that the big centre forward got sent off for diving. I think went down for a penalty. That was Mabama went down, but listen, that's a small thing. You're right, Stoke. So long in the doldrums. Still a long way to go. Miles to go.
Oh, of course.
What an encouraging start. Really.
Middlesbrough sits second, of course, and Coventry third. What do you think of XG, Coisty? Are you a fan?
Oh, I'm not, mate. I'm not a fan of XG. In fact, I can't lie to you. I'm not really sure how it all works and all the figures and all that stuff. I tend to let my eyes do my thinking for me, to be honest with you, Jeff. But what a day for Coventry.
It was, but listen, the reason I asked you that, Coisty, just before you go on, the reason I asked you that is, obviously they've won 7-1, Coventry.
Yes.
Coventry had an XG of 1.27. So doesn't that tell you that it's nonsense?
Correct. They'd an XG of 1.27, they won 7-1.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. I mean, that sums up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Absolute nonsense. But I tell you what a day for Coventry.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the result, but the news that the stadium is now their own, had been bought over. It's just, you couldn't have got a better day. Obviously, an absolute disaster for QPR. I think they only got a consolation goal about the 93rd minute.
Yeah.
But you look at Coventry, definitely unlucky in the playoff, Jeff. Against my old team. You got to be honest about it and say they were unlucky. But it doesn't look as though that disappointment, and it was a disappointment, massive one. It doesn't look at this early stage as if they're going to have to go over it kind of quickly, because it looks as though they put it behind them. They've got some good players. They've got goal scorers. Hadji, right? I've liked them for a while. I think there's always goals in them, and it's really encouraging, and it's good to see. And I'm also delighted for Frank. I really like Frank as a guy. I'm willing him to do well. And I just hope, the form continues, Jeff, for Coventry.
I mean, but for poor old QPR, Julian Stefan, their newly appointed manager, already under pressure. I mean, just 4 games in. And if you look down at the bottom end, obviously Ruben Sellers, we mentioned him before, under pressure at United. Bit of life in Sheffield Wednesday, 2-0 down at Wrexham.
Yeah.
I want to touch on, and coming back for a 2-2 draw, I want to touch on Wrexham, though, because obviously it's been this incredible upward climb that they've had. But, Coisty, they spent £23 million, pre-season here or at the moment.
A lot of money.
That's just less than Inter Milan. And their manager, Phil Parkinson, admits the spending might not be over. Now, if I'm Ryan Reynolds or Rob McElhenney, those are not words I want to hear.
No, because, and I said, I've been saying for weeks, Jeff, that the climb and the ascent has to plateau out at some point. There is no way I could see them going, all the way straight to the top flight. I think this season was a season that was going to plateau, perhaps for a couple of seasons. And then from their point of view, they'd want to make the journey again and get to the top flight. There has to be a realisation, I think. And I think there probably is with Wrexham fans who are on this wonderful journey. It's never just going to be climb. They were going to have to find their level. And I think they've more than found it right now. And results in this early stage of the season would indicate that. That was the game I was listening to coming back up, because I was in the car coming back up from Manchester at the weekend. And Sheffield Wednesday, by all accounts, more than deserved their point, because listening to the commentary, they were very unlucky to find themselves a couple of goals down. And how good is it, as a matter of interest, to see Barry Bannon still playing away for that team and scoring?
Brilliant.
I mean, isn't it magic?
Yeah.
You look at the disappointments you get sometimes with some of the big name players, and you forget about guys like Barry Bannon, who are, for me, what it's all about. You know what I mean? They're just worth their salt. He's been there for years and years and years, just goes about his business. It's sometimes as if the club's falling around. You know, you look, both Sheffield clubs have not had their problems to seek recently, but it's just great. And then you look at, I mean, Sheffield United's got to be a concern as well, Jeff. Another defeat. I mean, it's not a defeat because Millwall and Alex Neil's, they're a good side and they're capable of beating anybody. I get that. Of course they are. But you worry about Sheffield United, mate. Just the kind of steady decline, and you know it's be a big concern, mate. And you listen to the phone-ins. They're sitting bottom of that league, no points. Crikey, something's got to give there, mate.
Yeah. Cardiff are top of League One. Brian Barry Murphy.
Yeah.
What a start he's made. Absolutely sensational. And by the way, I don't know if you got much chance to watch, you know, any of the AFL action this weekend, but oh my goodness, some of the goals that were scored.
Oh I know.
Regan Hendry in Mansfield swore woman over Leighton Orient, scores from the halfway line.
By the way,
absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant finish, free kick.
Yeah, sensational. Ronan Darcy at Chesterfield. I mean, you know, the opposition defenders have got twisted blood. He must beat 5 of them inside the penalty area before he finishes. It's unbelievable.
I saw it. You're right. There was some brilliant goals at the weekend. There was some. Tell you, it never lets us down. We really enjoy it.
Never lets us down. We've got to mention it's not EFL. It's National League. Morecambe. I mean, the story. It keeps on giving. They signed like a dozen players in 2 days. They beat Altrincham in their first game of the season after their reprieve in front of 3,500. Daniel Ogwura scored his first goal at this level in the 98th minute. I mean, absolutely incredible. One of the nicest things to me about that, Coisty, was at 11:30, the PA system announced the turnstiles are now open. Now, that's not normally an emotional phrase, but it was at Morecambe that day. The turnstiles are now open. That's something that Morecambe fans never expected to hear again.
It's great, isn't it? I'm really enjoying looking at the league. Sitting 16th, played 1 game. It's great. It's fantastic. But you're right, the whole thing, what a week for them. And then, oh man, it was just written in the stars, 98th minute winner.
Cossey, you're still looking at that league? Are you still looking?
Yes.
Have a look up towards the top end.
Oh, by the way, don't worry about it. Second.
Hartlepool seconds. We're away at Southend today, who are third.
Yes.
The last 4 meetings between Southend and Hartlepool, home and away, have all finished 0-0. Neither of the teams have conceded a goal so far this season. I'm going to it. What do you think the score's going to be?
It's got nothing each written all over it, mate.
Look, I'll tell you what. I'll bite your hand off for nothing each right now. Bite your hand off.
You'd take it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you.
Great start for Forest Green as well.
Yeah.
And John Hill's Rochdale's up there as well. Brilliant.
Yeah, Rochdale lost at the weekend, though.
I know that.
I think the manager made 11 changes. In preparation, I guess, because they play Saturday, Monday. I mean, it's tough. Saturday, Monday is extremely tough. But hey, you know, they lost at Brackley by 2 goals to 1.
I wouldn't have thought he'd have a squad to make 11 changes.
You think? I mean, I haven't had that confirmed, but somebody told me they made 11 changes. Well, we shall see. Anyway, look, they're expecting, I think, around 9,000 at Roots Hall today, so it'll be a fantastic atmosphere down.
Brilliant.
At Southend. Very much looking forward to it. Right, still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. From excavators to skips or cement mixers to pressure washers, Travis Perkins Hire has all your landscaping needs covered.
Jack Grealish started Everton's win over Brighton yesterday and looked back to his very best. He spoke after the game to talkSPORT's Adam Bridge about the privilege of playing for Everton.
Ross Bartley, for example, he was messaging me saying, "All my friends are buzzing that you're coming, blah, blah, blah." My barber that was cutting my hair, you know, he's from Liverpool. He was saying, "Mate, everyone's so buzzing." So just stuff like that, you know, it was nice.
Jack Grealish loving being back in the thick of things. And ahead of the mouth-watering game tonight between Newcastle and Liverpool, live on talkSPORT, Liverpool legend John Barnes will be with us to preview it from around 9 o'clock. Don't miss that. And that was our look ahead with Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. It's easy to hire at Travis Perkins with a Travis Perkins trade account. talkSPORT traffic.
On the west end of London, Charing Cross Road remains blocked heading south from Tottenham Court Road. There's been an accident there. Also,
Good morning, 7:49, Monday, August the 25th, Bank Holiday Monday. If you're having a lie-in, do enjoy it. I'm Jeff Stelling, and Ally McCoist is with me in Glasgow, wishing that he was having a lie-in, but busy as usual. Right, what do we know this Monday morning? Tommy Fleetwood held his nerve to win the Tour Championship and claim a first PGA Tour title at the 164th time of asking. He was absolutely brilliant. Rangers have suffered their worst start to a season in 36 years. Held 1-1 by St Mirren. 3 draws out of 3 so far. They're 7th in the table. The FA is investigating a banner unfurled by Crystal Palace fans depicting Nottingham Forest owner Evangelos Marinakis and Morgan Gibbs-White. The game ended 1-1. Afterwards, Nuno, the Forest boss, spoke to talkSPORT's Alfie Reynolds about his uncertain future.
The truth is that we have to speak. We have to speak, and we will do it this week. This is the truth. And try to create a better platform moving forward.
Nuno, can I just ask, are there plans then to speak to the owner later this week?
Yes, of course. It's needed. It's needed.
And do you still feel confident then that that's a relationship that can still be a very healthy one, working-wise?
I hope so. I think we are grown-up people that want the best for the club. This is what is important.
Well, I hope it works out, to be brutally honest, because Nuno's been absolutely excellent for Forest, hasn't he? Yeah, and good for the game as well. And, you know, He talks well. He's a character. Yeah, I like him a lot. By the way, Ange Postecoglou, Coisty's been linked with the job if Nuno leaves. That's impossible, isn't it? Because of the contrast between the style of football that Nuno plays and the style of football that Postecoglou favours.
Nothing's impossible. Come on. Nothing is impossible. But clearly, because of what's happened and because of Nuno's comments, there's a train of thought that I don't think it's too much water under the bridge. I think it is, you know, they can heal the wounds, heal the rift. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But because there's doubt over his future, a few names will get thrown up, as they normally do. Ange would obviously be one of them come into the equation. I think you're absolutely spot on in your assessment. It would be a dramatic change in style for Forest players and the Forest team. But being honest with you, Jeff, I'm really hopeful. I don't think there's too much water under the bridge. I think Nuno is an intelligent man. I think he's an excellent coach. I think he is doing and has done a brilliant job at Forest. And I hope that continues. And he will know deep down that he cannot take the owner on and win that battle. No. So I just hope they can find some common ground, the three of them, and move on.
Yeah, hope you're right, mate, because I don't think they're a one-season wonder at all. And with the additions of, like, you know, McAtee and Ndoye and Hutchison, Douglas Luiz and that, I think we're in for another really good season. For more on all the day's biggest stories, head over to our website, talksport.com. Right, transfer deadline is just a week or so away now. Time for a bit of this.
Stick a load of singles in there and then they fall in love.
Of course it's hard. It's supposed to be hard.
A 36-year-old, you'll have the knockers, you will.
Just because it's offering its teat, do I really have to muscle on that?
Is there anything in your personal life that could be causing you stress, sir?
I'm not a great lover.
Hello? Oh.
What's your name?
Sarah Louise.
Sarah Louise. Fuck, you're up for it, aren't you?
I was in love at the time. That's what I was doing.
At the time. Yeah, it's time for a bit of transfer tinder. Sam is back with us. I don't mean to, be a sort of dampener of enthusiasm here, but God, I'll be glad when this transfer window's over.
Because of the transfer window in general, or because of transfer tinder specifically?
No, the transfer window in general. It goes on forever.
Yeah.
I'm all for those who say, that the transfer window should close the day before the Premier League starts.
I'm with you in that. Why does it not? There's the question. Because that would be the logical time to end it, would it not, Jeff?
Yeah. In my opinion, get your players in place. This is what we've got until the next transfer window opens.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have all of this nonsense, with Alexander Isak and so on.
But will you miss that package, Jeff?
No,
I love that. Makes you smile every morning.
I've heard it 150 times, and I love it, especially Moose's contribution.
Moose's contribution is the best one, isn't it? Yeah. We need to get you in that package, Jeff, for January. Okay,
no, we do
not.
We
need to make it happen. First up, then, a week to go on transfer tinder. Now, Spurs have already signed one West Ham player. Could they be back for another one? First, we have Lucas Paqueta. Reports that Spurs are now showing an interest in the West Ham player. We know that Kulusevski and Maddison are injured for a long period of time. We know that Spurs missed out on Morgan Gibbs-White and Eze, and they're trying to bring in another attacking player. Boys, I'm just trying to imagine the West Ham fans' reaction if another one of their best players ends up swapping West Ham for Spurs by the end of this transfer window. But he's certainly the sort of profile of player, Ali, that Spurs are looking for, right?
Yeah, but I'm not swiping. What is it? She fancy? Is he swipe right?
Oh, you must know by now, Ali. Come on,
No,
don't pretend you don't know.
I don't.
You're swiping left for yes, and you're swiping right for no.
Well, I'm swiping right for this one. Because obviously they didn't get Gibbs White, they didn't get Eze. No, I'm not doubting Paqueta's skill or talent, but I'm just not sure he's what Tottenham need at this moment in time. I look at Tottenham just now. And could they do with another forward? Yes, of course they could. Kulusevski's long term, as is Maddison, so you need a bit of cover there. I get it, but they were really solid at the back. The three in the middle of the park, I thought, were absolutely terrific. Kudus and Richarlison working their socks off. Brennan Johnson. Now, when I didn't see Brennan Johnson start against PSG, and he played the more defensive formation with the three centre-backs and Danso, I thought that was a bit strange, and I thought Johnson could consider himself a little bit unlucky. But boy, is he come back in and answered any questions that were against him. Scored against Burnley, scored again at the weekend. Could they do with some reinforcements in that area? Jeff, Sam, yes, but not Paqueta for me.
Not for me.
Yeah, no. So sorry, it's
not done enough. I mean, just not done enough.
It's a left for no, by the way, right for yes.
Okay.
I need to get more
we're both swiping left. I thought you would have known that.
No, I know. Poor from me. Next up on transfer tinder.
Shocking.
Sorry, it's poor from me, isn't it, Ali? Can
for
you
a
believe
man that's
it?
on it every night, man. I thought you didn't know.
Every morning, Ali, not just every night. Next up on transfer, Rodrigo still being linked with Manchester City. He's seen as playing time limited under Xavi Alonso at Real Madrid. The club respecting late bids for the winger, but not actively looking to sell the player. Rodrigo to Man City, Ali. City needing another sort of wide attacking player?
I think they probably are. Looking at it the weekend, they were, I mean, not just judging it in the one game, they're a little bit disappointment. I thought Mamouche started the game, first 10-15 minutes, he looked lively. Oscar Bob on the other side didn't really do enough for me. And they brought Doku on second half. Foden came on as well, second half. I don't think they've ever replaced Mahrez, to tell you the gospel truth, to be honest with you. I could see that move happening. I would probably, but they'll need to get rid of Savinho as well, won't they? I mean, I would probably be swiping right for that one, and it's not a panic move. I just think they could probably do with more and wider areas.
I'd swipe left because he's been linked with absolutely everybody, and nobody seems to be willing to take him at the moment. I'm not sure that's their priority at the moment. I was shocked that Doku was left on the bench. In fact, I was shocked with Pep's team selection at the weekend. The likes of Bernardo Silva left on the bench. Rodri, maybe I get that because of his injury issues and so on and so forth. But I just think they've got different priorities. So I'm going to swipe left for that.
Do you think, Jeff, Sam? You know, we hear Pep saying he doesn't want a big squad and his squad's too big. Do you think that was an example of it giving himself a headache because of the numbers on the bench and players that he's got, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, very possibly. But when you on your bench, you've got Ederson, Foden, Silva, Rodri, and Doku, for goodness sake,
Yeah.
I would point the finger and say, on the day, Pep got it wrong.
Yeah. Well, I said right at the start of the second half, I couldn't believe how long it took him to make the changes. Now, I'm not privy to Rodri's fitness, for example, and when he came on, he certainly looked as though he needs a few games, a bit of match practice. But the big, I'd have made a change at half time. I'd have brought Doku on. So one thing Doku does, he'll take people on and try and create and go by people, make things happen. And I thought they were very, very slow in their build-up and very predictable in their build-up. And I think Doku's the one thing the one thing he's not is predictable.
Yep. Is that our lot then?
Well, time for one more. This one looks like it's a done deal, but James Justin leaves to Leicester. Leeds have agreed a deal to sign Justin, £8 million up front with a potential extra £2 million on add-on. So to be fair, that one looks like it's a done deal. James Justin from Leicester to Leeds.
Yeah, fire sale at Leicester, isn't it? Easy to forget that James Justin played for England on more than one occasion.
Of course he did.
That's right.
I think. So, wish him well. I just feel Leeds have not got enough quality in there, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Left for me.
I'm agreement. Sadly, I'm agreement. Yeah.
Thanks very much indeed.
We got one match there, didn't we? Ali like Rodrigo to Man City. We'll take that. We'll take one out of 6.
Thank you very much,
Thanks,
mate.
guys.
Next, find out which former teammate Jack Grealish is trying to channel the qualities of in an Everton shirt.
Audience of 180 million worldwide, the biggest ever in the event's history. But how did singing and dancing get to be the centerpiece of America's biggest sporting event? The first edition of the Super Bowl was held in 1967 when the Green Bay Packers beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Los Angeles. Because of the sheer size of the event, organisers wanted to put on entertainment at halftime for the fans in the stadium. It was a display of marching bands, dancers and pure USA patriotism, and that was the theme that followed for years. In the 1980s, the Walt Disney Company got involved and we started seeing some interesting and questionable displays. But we got our first glimpse of halftime shows to come in '93 when none other than Michael Jackson stunned fans with his 15-minute medley of his own smash hits. When he walked out on stage, he had to wait for the crowd's cheers to die down for about 2 minutes before even starting his first song. Diana Ross, Gloria Estefan, Phil Collins all starred in their own shows, as did Aerosmith, who performed alongside NSYNC. Things got a little bit out of hand in 2004 when Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson produced perhaps the most famous or infamous wardrobe malfunction in history. Shows from the likes of Prince, Lady Gaga and Beyoncé are considered by critics as the best. To give you an idea of the scale of things, Rihanna's 2023 halftime show included roughly 800 people. These ranged from backing dancers to stage crew to camera operatives broadcasting to millions around the world. The whole stage for that show was built in roughly 8 minutes and was broken down and cleared away in the same time. The acts perform for free nowadays, even though the experts reckon it costs around $13 million to put on Rihanna's show. Artists know they'll rocket up the charts in the following weeks. Rihanna's average sales improved by 140% in the months following her performance. The Super Bowl halftime show will be a fixture in pop culture for years to come. So the question is, who next?
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist and Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. James in Chester's texted and said the transfer window is because it gives teams a chance to replace players if they get injured as the season starts or a sale falls through. It means we get better players ultimately and higher standards. Don't agree with that at all, James. In that case, we might as well have the transfer window open all season
all
long.
the time.
Absolutely. That makes, I mean, seriously, James, doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I've got no idea why the transfer window is open for the time it is, but again, in my view, should be closed before a ball is kicked. Coming up, we'll ask former West Ham defender, Tony Gale, whether he's convinced Graham Potter's hammers will come good. Liverpool legend John Barnes joins us to preview their clash at St James's Park against Newcastle tonight. It is, of course, live and exclusive on talkSPORT. And Troy Deeney comes on the show as we find out if he has what it takes to make the SAS Who Dares Wins final.
That's what you and I would be calling for if we were in that.
Hey, look, I'd be one of those who are out on the first day. I'd be handing my little tag over on that very first day. No doubt about that. But first, Everton started Premier League life at their magnificent new Hill Dickinson Stadium with the first win of the season against Brighton. And all with Jack Grealish looking back to his best. He caught up with talkSPORT after bagging both assists for the goals.
Scoring goals in football is so important, but when I played with De Bruyne, he was one that I learnt so much off in football, and I think assisting is just as good as scoring in my own opinion. Providing the assist for your teammate is a special feeling, and listen, when I'm here, all I want to do is do good things for this club, and hopefully we can all push on and I can provide many more goals and assists.
It's certainly a great start as far as Grealish is concerned. And you wonder, I feel like Coisty, I don't know about you, but when you sort of glimpse of him in that opening game at Leeds, not surprisingly, he looked a long way off fit. Yeah. I think that things can only get better and better for Jack now.
Oh, I'm with you, mate. I'm 100% with you. And as I say, I mean, I watched Rodri come on at the weekend, and he's just been, well, voted the best player in the world, but he looks short because he hasn't been playing, and that's natural. Some things are natural, and Jack's the exact same. He hasn't been playing for other reasons, not really down to injury, Rodri's injury. So Jack's come back, and I think he will get better. The more game time he gets in his legs, I think it's natural. I think the move's great for him. I think he's going to enjoy it. I think Everton are going to enjoy him, and I can only see it going, and I certainly hope it goes from strength to strength.
Yeah. A great start for Everton to life in their brand new stadium. Let's take a listen to the first ever Z-Cars intro there, live on talkSPORT.
Well, they weren't going to change the walkout music, were they?
No.
The Z-Cars is about to start. It is just minutes away from the first ever league match at the new ground, the Hill Dickinson Stadium on the banks of the River Mersey. The fireworks explode into the sky, the blue flags waving violently above the heads of the supporters, and that's the roar as the players start to march out of the tunnel and onto the playing surface, which is lush green down below us. We're at the new home of the Blues, but it feels like the old vibe has been transferred from Goodison Park and stuck straight in this stadium.
Wow, I mean, such an evocative piece of music, isn't it? Sam Matterface there with the description. It was brilliant. Joining us now is another man who was in the stadium to hear it live, the Daily Mail's Merseyside reporter, Dom King. Morning to you, Dom.
Morning, Dom.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Ali.
Hey, watching it on TV as the teams came out to that Z-Cars theme with the blue smoke and that, it just looked sensational. How was it when you were actually in the stadium?
Oh, Jeff, the 10 minutes before the teams came out, when they played There She Goes by the Lars, and the whole stadium was singing, and then they went into all the old Everton songs, Spirit of the Blues and whatnot. It was fantastic. And then when they played the siren, I don't think I'd have been alone in saying I had goosebumps. It was a magnificent occasion. It's been a long time coming, and I think it was very emotional for people as well, because of on days like this, you remember those who would have loved to have been there and sadly couldn't. It was just a day of wild emotions, and thankfully it got the result that everybody craved. And also Jack Grealish's performance was just the icing on the cake.
It was magic, Dom. It was. I mean, a lot of people, obviously Brighton aside, a lot of football supporters up and down the country were looking at that game, looking at that, the opening of the new stadium, and then kind of secretly, myself included, hoping that Everton got off to a great start. And they did, because Jeff and I were talking about earlier on. I mean, Brighton weren't without their chances. Obviously, another controversial penalty. Goalie makes a great save, but you just kind of felt it was going to be Everton's day.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you're right. The first 20 minutes were just a little bit anxious, and it would have been interesting to see what might have happened had Danny Welbeck scored that brilliant chance he had after Mintz's great play down the right hand side. But Everton, David Moyes is going to put resilience back into Everton. I know that he's happy with the group that he's got in terms of the characteristics that we have. He's got lads in there now who will do what he wants. Will understand the responsibility that they have playing for Everton, and they fought, and they kept themselves in there. And then that little flash of magic when Grealish went down the left and scored, it was lift off from then. And yeah, it was just brilliant. It was one of those days, Ali, Jeff, and you'll understand what I mean here, as when you love football, when you just know it was a privilege to be at the stadium and witness it all unfolding in front of you. It was just a tremendous day.
Yeah, I mean, they're already look a proper David Moyes side. I mean, full of endeavour, Garner Gay and Tarkowski, and James Garner filling in at fullback. I mean, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely.
Do you know what, Jeff? It's brilliant that you brought him up, James Garner, because if ever there was a player that was made to play for David Moyes, it's him. I mean, I was talking to Leighton Baines after the game last night. He popped into the press room, and I was asking him just whether he'd spoken to Jimmy about playing left back and whether he'd give him any pointers. And he said, absolutely no need to. He said he's just one of those lads. You ask him to do something for you, he does it without questioning it, without pulling a face. He just goes in, does exactly what's required of him, and he's going to go from strength to strength. I remember when Frank Lampard was desperate to sign him a couple of years ago, and he was instrumental in bringing him to the club, and he's quietly becoming a very, very good Everton player.
Dom, the big games keep on coming tonight, man. Oh, salivating about tonight. What we expecting?
Earmuffs.
I don't think you're wrong, mate. I don't think you're wrong. What a game we've got.
No, it'll be. It's going to be wild. I think you'll hear the roar from Tyneside down on Merseyside tonight, and probably further on down the country as well. It's going to be very, very difficult for Liverpool. I think they got my colleague Craig Hope's written about them entering a bear pit tonight, and that's exactly what it's going to be. We were talking to Arne Slot last Thursday about this game and about the potential for animosity, and he just sort of had a right chuckle and said, how could it be any louder than it was last year when we went there? I think you'll find out that it is.
Yeah, I think you will. Dom, thanks very much. Enjoy it.
Enjoy it, mate.
No problem at all. See you soon.
Don't forget Newcastle Liverpool live on talkSPORT tonight. Coverage at 7 with Adrian Durham, Sam Matterface and Troy Deeney. Kick-off, of course, is at 8. We've got a plea from Craig. He says, can you stop the Tinder notification noises, please? He said, I listen to talkSPORT on a Bluetooth speaker in the morning, and there's a girl in my office that I've been talking to and putting in the groundwork with. She's just walked past thinking I've got Tinder on my phone, and it's too awkward for me to explain to her that it's just a radio show segment. Oh, Craig, so sorry. You've only got another week or so to put up with it, mate. That's the
Craig.
good news. Yeah.
Very good.
Up next, find out how Gabby Agbonlahor has been getting on trying to make it in the co-commentary game. Very good morning to you. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me this morning. We're here right through until 10 o'clock this bank holiday Monday. All right, talkSPORT continues to bring you all the action in the Premier League. As you can hear, Newcastle against Liverpool tonight and more coverage at the weekend. On Sunday, you can hear Villa against Palace with our very own Gabby Agbonlahor on co-coms. Ali, as one of the nation's most cherished commentators, we want to hear your thoughts on Gabby's attempts at some of the sport's most iconic moments.
Miller, lovely cushion header.
Oh, you beauty! What a hit, son! What a hit!
The most dramatic story of the season. It's Torres.
We're off to Fratton Park where there's been a red card, but for who, Chris Kamara?
I don't know, Jeff. Has there been a red card?
Chris, have you not been watching? I haven't. I don't know where that's come from, Chris. I have no idea what has happened there. What's happened, Chris?
I don't know, Jeff.
Balotelli.
Aguero! I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again. So watch it. Drink it in.
Come on then, Coisty, have you got any tips for him?
Yes, the first one. I mean, don't get me wrong, my Birmingham accent's not the best, but he has got to work on his Scottish accent. if he's going to impersonate Andy Gray, at least put a bit of effort into it, Gabby. Man. I did enjoy that. That tickled me.
I think the boy's got some potential, although I have to tell you, if I'm a Crystal Palace fan and they're playing Villa, I'm not too optimistic there'll be a very positive spin on the Palace performance. Are you?
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. Do you know what I mean? I think the Palace fans will be, well, do you know something? They'll get what they expect from Gabby. The Villa fan doing his commentary, they'll get what they'll expect. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Gabby's going to be hoping he can commentate on a Villa goal. Because 2 games, no goals. I'm a bit worried about them, Coisty.
Well, no, I'm not overly concerned. They've lost players as well, and they don't look as strong. I get that, but I just think if they can keep players fit, I think they've got enough talent in their side. Like I would say, Jeff, and another couple of refereeing decisions at the weekend, and the reason we're not talking about them because it didn't affect the result. But what was the foul given on Martinez for the was it who? Damsgaard goal coming and volleyed it. Yeah. I mean, some of the decisions were poor again at the weekend. But no, I take your point. Villa fans will be a little bit concerned, I would imagine, but I think they'll be fine, Jeff. I do. It's a shame, just the situation with obviously having to sell players. It's not ideal, but I think they've got enough quality within their squad.
We will talk about some of those refereeing decisions in around 20 minutes' time, by the way, Coisty. Now, though, it's time for the latest odds with Coral and Dave Stevens.
Miller, lovely cushion header.
Oh, you beauty! What a hit, son! What a hit!
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for it. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Steve-O, good morning to you.
Steve-O, good morning.
Hey, Steve-O, you'd have loved to hear Gabby commentating on Colby Bishop's equaliser at the Hawthorns, wouldn't you?
Oh, it's a massive point for us, Jeff. Honestly, they'd won their first 2, the Baggies, obviously.
Steve-O.
Beaten at home by Norwich. A point on the road, that's a good point. Preston
Steve-O.
next to... Yes, Ali.
Never mind a good point. Talk to me about the penalty decision. Talk to me about the penalty decision that West Brom never got.
Well, what can we do? I mean, wasn't our doing, was it?
It was a scandal. By the way, they might have had 2, but I tell you, one of them was an absolute stonewall penalty. And I must admit, I thought about you when the referee never gave it. I thought that bandit was smiling down there.
I'm not one for knocking officials. It's a tough job. I think we just have to. I think we have to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. I mean, well, look, it must have been bad if mild-mannered Ryan Mason gets a red card anyway.
Look, I see it, mate.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Coach, I haven't seen it. Lots happened at the weekend, of course, and I suspect Arsenal's win, City's defeat, has that shaken up the betting in terms of the Premier League title?
It has, but I think this is one of those occasions where the bookmakers have overreacted. Let's call it recency bias. I mean, Arsenal were 1-3 to beat Leeds, so that wasn't a shock. OK, they played well. They had a couple of injuries to key players. OK, possibly not as bad as perhaps Arteta first feared. But should Arsenal really now be favourites for the title 7-4? I don't know. Such a long way to go. We all get carried away by one result. I was guilty of it. I thought Sunderland was certain to get something from the trip to Burnley. They didn't. Liverpool are 2-1 second favourites. City have been eased out, obviously, after... I mean, Tottenham were just the better side by a long way in that game, weren't they? They're out to 9-2.
A punter's getting carried away there. Any money for Tottenham?
They're into 20-1, which now makes them a shorter price than Manchester United, but then they should be a shorter price than Manchester United because they've still got all the same problems, you feel, really, looking at United. The lack of goals from them. Chelsea in there at 15-2. But yeah, I don't know. It feels like to me, gents, a bit of recency bias, bit of overreaction. Although I look at that Liverpool team sheet for the game tonight, and there's talk that Szoboszlai will have to play at right back. Now, that's not really how you want your champion squad to be, is it? Having to, quality player that he is. And here's the thing on this game tonight. Liverpool are even money favourites to win up at St James's Park. Newcastle haven't won any of the last 17 Premier League appearances, so it's been a tough fixture for them historically. 12-5 Newcastle, 3-1 the draw. But again, do Liverpool... I mean, there were signs of they're going to concede goals, Liverpool, as we saw against Bournemouth. It's going to be feisty, it's going to be passionate. I mean, how do you see this one going, gents?
I don't think it'll be 3-3 again this season as it was last season. That's for sure. When Isak scored for Newcastle, I don't think he'll be scoring for Newcastle tonight.
No, I mean, 3-3 is 25-1, so it's not, it isn't beyond the realms of possibility. Anthony Gordon, we know, ex-Evertonian, would love to score. He's 15-2 to open the scoring. And Hugo Ekitike, of course, who could have been a Newcastle player if things panned out differently, 11-2. But Ali, prediction for this one?
I'm going to go, funnily enough, I'm going against Jeff. I'm going to high score and draw. I'm going 2 each. I think there'll be goals in it. I think the atmosphere will be absolutely electric. Can't wait for it, mate. I think it's a great game.
10-1, 2-2.
Wow.
But Jeff, we all know the big game, of course, is down at Roots Hall tonight.
Of course it is.
John's been on. John Hill can't believe Rochdale made all those changes. He thought at one stage he was going to get a game. They were making so many changes. But Southend 4-5, Jeff. Hartlepool 27-10, 12-5. The draw. Does this finish 0-0? Is that what we thought earlier?
Well, I said the last 4 have been 0-0, and neither side have conceded a goal so far this season. So 0-0 would be the blindingly obvious bet. However, look, we would take 0-0 right now. It would be a great result for them. For us, it would be less good for them, I would think. But, I'll be there. I think around 9,000 others will be there.
It's a great game
as well.
Brilliant.
I'm really looking forward to it. Just
8.5 to 1. 8.5 to 1.
8.5 to 1. Quick word about the bottom of the Premier League, Steve-O, before you go, because you mentioned Chelsea in the betting for the title, and I think it's been overlooked a bit. They were brilliant. I thought they were brilliant at the London Stadium on Friday night, but West Ham were woeful. And a lot of West Ham fans are now fearing relegation. Where would they figure in the betting?
They're right in it, Jeff. Again, as we always stress, of course it's early days, but they are now into 7-4, which makes them the 4th shortest team in the betting. So Burnley, despite that good result, 1-3. Sunderland 4-7. Wolves 6-4. And then it's West Ham 7-4. Leeds 9-4, despite the defeated Arsenal. So there is no question West Ham fans are right to be fearful because the betting, as I say, has them right in the mix, even at this early stage.
Steve-O, of course, a quick one. I know we're going to the news. I want a quick one out. You talking about good results, bad results. Ethical Diamond winning the E-Ball, 5-1 favourite. How was it?
Yeah, look, Willie Mullins is a maestro. It's his 3rd E-Ball win. He had 2 in the race. This was the one the punters backed. Will Buick gave him a cracking ride. Crowned a really great week on the Naismire for Will Buick, actually. He was top jockey there. Punters love Willie Mullins, whether it's Cheltenham, whether it's the flat. He's the man for all seasons. But we saw a superstar performance, I think, yesterday over at Deauville in the Pre-Morny. Venetian Sun, trained by Carl Burke. Carl's having another brilliant season. She beat the Colts in that Group 1 race at Deauville. She's now 6-1 favourite for next year's 1,000 guineas. So great to see Carl Burke have another potential champion on his hands.
Yeah, he knows the time of day, that is for sure.
He does.
Steve-O, thanks very much indeed.
Cheers, fellas.
Good week, mate.
And that was a look at the latest odds, all thanks to Coral 18+ gambleaware.org. Tony Gale is next.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for it. 18+, begambleaware.org.
It's not often you associate fan power with Chelsea Football Club, but one of the shining examples of it lies with a group called the Chelsea Pitch Owners. And they've proved to be the thorn in the side of owners past and present who've been dead set on moving stadiums to a larger, more lucrative piece of land. Essentially, the supporters group holds the freehold to the land on which Stamford Bridge sits. Former owner Ken Bates set it up at a time where some unruly property developers tried to evict the club from their ground. In order to prevent this, he established the CPO as a company that owned the pitch and offered the fans the chance to buy a share for £100. As well as that, they also own the rights to the name Chelsea Football Club, so if any owner wants to take them elsewhere, they can't be called Chelsea without the approval from the CPO. Now, in 2011, Roman Abramovich tried and failed to move them away from Stamford Bridge, and this has set a precedent for Todd Bowley and the current power brokers at Chelsea. They know any plan which involves moving from Stamford Bridge will require CPO approval from the now 13,000 fans who own it. There are fans who are concerned that if they stay at the bridge, they'll be left behind their domestic and European rivals who are moving to more commercially successful stadiums. But for the heritage and history lovers, Stamford Bridge is one of the iconic English stadiums, and to move away would be a grave mistake. It might not be as flashy as others, but stadiums like it have something about them that cannot be replaced. One thing's for sure, if Bowley wants to take Chelsea away from their home, he'll have to go through the CPO first.
Yeah, very good morning to you. It's Monday, August the 25th, bank holiday. Hope you're going to have a lovely bank holiday. Weather forecast is set fair. If you're looking for something to do this afternoon, there's a full programme of National League games. Go along and support one of your local clubs. Why not? This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, and the Arnold Clark app. Buy a car, opt into Arnold Clark Rewards to enjoy access to great giveaways and everyday perks. Right, Tottenham did it again at the Etihad, beating City 2-0 with goals from Brennan Johnson and João Palhinha. Just what is it about Tottenham that City can't seem to cope with? Jamie O'Hara got a bit carried away on the game day phone-in. Have a listen to this.
Everyone's been laughing at us all week, all right? And and everyone was digging us out. You coming here with your little clown props and all that, giving it the big and everyone mugging us off. Spurs are rubbish. Spurs are back. The old usual Spurs. And I thought, you know what? Let's see what happens. We're going to play Man City today, and let's see how we do. And I tell you what, Thomas Frank, what a gaffer. What a manager.
Well done.
And he's gone up, and we've just shut every single person up with that performance. Man City, everyone's saying they're back. Man City's back, built a new team.
You never learn, mate.
We were superb.
You never learn.
Spurs are absolutely brilliant.
Jay, you never learn, okay? Why can't you just be humble?
I don't need to be. I'm being humble.
Why can't you just go there and say, yeah, well, good before? Because it's 2 games in, and you're Spurs. You know that result, that trip, that performance, you go flat in your face, is just round the corner.
It's a massive result, though.
It's a great result. It's a
massive result. Just shuts everyone up. Everyone digging us out.
No, it won't shut anyone up, mate. It won't shut anyone up.
Getting, mugged off by Eze and all that, and we just rock up. Brennan Johnson, bang, goal. That's what we do. It's what we do. It didn't even look like scoring.
You know, it's not what you do. That's the whole point. It's not what you do. That's the whole point.
How ridiculous does O'Hara look in that bucket hat, by the way? I mean, more ridiculous than usual.
He doesn't need a bucket hat and sunglasses. But I'm going to tell you something, Jeff. As I said to you, I was listening to when I was driving back up from that particular game, and I had a bit of the Wrexham Sheffield Wednesday game on, and I was listening to the boys. They were hilarious, man. I've got to tell you, they were very, very good. And, hey, he's quite right to get carried away.
Of course he is.
They have taken it. The Spurs fans have taken it for years and years. And even when they won something last year, they're taking it over the Gibbs-White situation, the Eze situation. So fair play to them. They've got to enjoy it right now, and so they should.
And we talked about how good their midfield were, and Richarlison. But Kudus and Brennan Johnson. Brennan Johnson doesn't often get a mention, I think he's underrated.
Jeff, you're absolutely right. He takes his goal well, comes in at the back post there, gets his kind of, well, not tap in, but he gets his finish. But I was looking at him, and I thought outstanding in the middle of the park. But it's amazing the record they've got against Manchester City.
Incredible.
I think that's them. Out of the last 13 league games, I think City have only won 4, and I think I'm almost certain Tottenham have won 7 and drawn 2. It's remarkable.
It is amazing. And while we're singing the praises of some Tottenham players, by the way, Pedro Porro. What an engine that boy has got. Absolutely amazing. The ground that he covers is incredible.
It was brilliant, mate. And you know something, I was watching, it was a perfect example. Anytime, particularly second half, when Doku get the ball, you don't want to get caught in a 1v1 with Doku, particularly for a right back. And the amount of times Sarr and Kudus came back in to double up and give Porro a hand was remarkable. Yeah. It was really a great team performance. It really was.
Fantastic. Now over in East London, oh dear, seriously worrying times for West Ham after their opening day beating at Sunderland. Things got worse for the Hammers as they were taken apart by Chelsea.
It's a London derby with plenty on it already, but who's going to be able to make capital?
Cole Palmer was injured during the warm-up.
Full injury, and then we conceded after 5 minutes, so it was not the best way to start the game, but then the reaction was very good.
Here come West Ham again with a shot from distance. Oh, what a stunning goal! A magnificent strike from Lucas Paquetá.
You will not see a better goal than that here this season.
And then I think the first goal was a cheap goal, and that probably sets the tone for the evening from our perspective.
In comes the corner, it's flicked on at the near post, and João Pedro is there to head it in. Paquetá then caught in possession, stays down outside the penalty area. Chelsea work it in, and Neto scores. And it's 2-1 Chelsea.
It's not nice on the eye, and the feeling's not great. There's going to be a lot of disgruntled fans tonight.
Estevao making his way inside the penalty area, gets the byline and just works it through the 6-yard box for a Chelsea tap in for 3. Enzo Fernandez turning it over the line.
There's nothing I can say that's going to make that feeling any better at the moment. They'll be hurting
and spilt by the goalkeeper to be put in by Caicedo for 4.
Target for me is just 2 days off and then think about Fulham.
And put in by Chalobah. It's 5-1. It has transformed into a complete hammer horror show.
Well, it really was, wasn't it? Let's get a West Ham perspective, shall we? On that, by talking to the former West Ham defender, Tony Gale. Morning, Galey.
Good morning, Tony. How are you, mate?
Good morning, boys.
How worried are you?
After Friday, very worried. I was at West Ham Friday. I went to Fulham on Monday, and the difference between the teams at the moment, West Ham and Fulham, my 2 old teams, is immeasurable. And I was just having a look at it, and the way that they just crumbled. They just crumbled in the end, and you thought, well, where's this come from? Because as the commentary said, it was such a great start. But then what I couldn't understand is when you start like that, you've nicked possession off the opposition, you've scored a goal, then they just retreated back into a shape where it allowed their centre-backs just to walk the ball to the halfway line. And I thought, I know what's coming. I was sitting with some of the ex-players and we thought, why are you sat back? Go for it again. Really pressure them. But they didn't.
Tony, I'm looking at the team. Obviously, a disappointing performance, and the result the week before was far from acceptable, though, up at Sunderland. But then I said to Jeff, you can have poor performances and poor results. I get that, but I'm looking at the bench as well from West Ham, and I'm not even seeing it. I'm not really seeing anything that's coming flying out at me that's going to make a dramatic change in proceedings, Tony.
Well, probably only one who's injured at the moment is Somerville, which would probably make a difference. A little bit of pace, Ali, Jeff. Yeah, a little bit of pace there. But no, you're correct. And I think, in the coming days, 5 or 6 days before the deadline, they've got to make 3 signings. They've got to get some legs in that midfield, get a bit of pace and energy. And basically, they've got to man up. The boys, everybody's going to go at Graham Potter, but the centre-backs, the 3 centre-backs, conceding goals at corners, headers at Sunderland, it's too easy, too easy.
You mean Graham Potter took some terrible flack at the end of the game? Who's to blame for this? Is it down to Graham Potter? Is it down to the board? Is it down to the players? What do you think, Tony?
Well, I'll go players first of all, Jeff. I always go players, and then I go the signings. The signings have got to come in. And lastly, the manager, because the manager can only play with what he's got. So basically, he can only play a team at the moment that makes it hard to beat. And they're not hard to beat. That's the thing. As soon as a goal's conceded, they kind of crumble, and it's not good enough at the moment. So there's a little bit of blame everywhere. But when there is blame everywhere, that's when you've got to all get together, and that's when you all got to muck in and, dig in, get a few results. They got Wolves tomorrow in the League Cup, and it starts there. But already they're talking about changes and looking at players, and I'm thinking, no, go and get a result. Get a result from anywhere and kick on.
Tony, you mentioned the contrast in your old teams. Enjoyed the game yesterday. Fulham, I've got to say, against Manchester United. Smith Rowe gets the equaliser, deserved. And I thought towards the end of the game, I know Harry Maguire's had a header, but I thought if any of the teams were going to win it would have been Fulham.
Yeah, I thought they were the better team, Ali. First 15 minutes, Man United come out the traps. They were really pressed in on Fulham and kind of surprised them. But after that, I think in that midfield area, I think Manchester United struggled, and that's where that's where their big attributes are, the midfield players. They took over that area, and I thought, like you said, there was only one winner, apart from Harry's header at the end, which narrowly missed. But Fulham were pressing, they were looking good, they played with a purpose. But that's a team, again, like West Ham, that probably need 2 or 3 new faces, and I expect them, like West Ham, to be busy in the last few days.
Yeah, I mean, more possession, Fulham, more shots, more corners, the lot really. But Marco Silva's been pretty vocal about the fact that he needs some more bodies in there. Although, having said that, I looked at their bench, and I think the point was made, I think it was probably on Match of the Day last night, the Fulham bench looked far preferable to the Manchester United bench.
Yeah.
It did, Jeff. Yeah, you're right. You had a look and there was options and players that didn't come on, like Traore, who could turn the game around for Fulham, and someone like West Ham could do with someone like that with the pace and the power that he's got. But yeah, you looked at that bench and there's a good influx. But I think Marco is right. You need to freshen it up every season. 2 or 3 new faces just adds to the competition. Yeah, that was a good bench, but it could be stronger. And if Fulham want to get stronger, They have to get active in the market.
Top manager. I really like Marco Silva. I was talking to Jay Stansfield a little while ago, and he was singing his praises, just that he's absolutely fantastic to play for. Tony, let's hope West Ham sort themselves out. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, Tony.
Cheers, Ali.
Got a text in from Graham from Kirkcuddy, who's out with his dog, Alfie. He always seems to be out with his dog, Alfie.
That's the best walk dog on the planet.
It definitely is. He said, morning, boys, can you give Barry Robson's Roth Ravers a shout? They absolutely schooled Neil Lennon's Dunfermline.
Yeah.
Also, wish my dog...
Night.
Wish my dog Alfie a happy birthday. I missed it last Wednesday. Oh, come on, Graham. Should have been an extra birthday walk for him, shouldn't there, you know? Fantastic. Thank you very much. I didn't realise that Lenny was at Dunfermline these days.
Oh, yeah. I spoke to him last week, I think he was. He's enjoying it. But that's a big derby game, that one, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Kirkcuddy, Dunfermline. Big derby game. And Wraith Rovers obviously coming out in top.
Roth Ravers, Coisty, not Wraith Rovers. Roth Ravers.
They'll be dancing. What was it he said? Remember the old one?
Yeah.
They'll be dancing in the streets of Wraith tonight or something.
Yeah, well, we used to do. They'll be dancing in the streets of Total Network Solutions, and then of course they went and changed their name to the New Saints, and it ruined it completely. Yeah, ruined it completely. Right, let's look ahead to the next hour of the show with Benchmarks.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Benchmarks Kitchens and Joinery. Get trade prices on kitchens to suit all styles and budgets at Benchmarks.
Liverpool fans, listen up. The legend John Barnes, he's always great to talk to. He'll be with us in around 20 minutes' time. We'll look ahead to Newcastle against Liverpool tonight at St James's Park. It's live and exclusive on talkSPORT. Don't miss it. It is guaranteed to be heated. And next, we're going to run the rule over one or two of the weekend's big refereeing calls. And that was our breakfast preview with Benchmarks.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Benchmarks Kitchens and Joinery. All our Benchmarks kitchen doors come with a 5-year guarantee. Terms and conditions apply.
Good morning to you. Very nearly 8:50 on this bank holiday Monday. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ally McCoist is with me. What do we know this Monday? Tommy Fleetwood held his nerve to win the Tour Championship and finally claim a first PGA Tour title at the 164th time of asking, winning by 3 shots from the American Patrick Cantlay, who's just holed out at the 18th. I'm hearing now. It just takes forever. He really does. 3 games, 3 draws, 7th in the table, 6 points behind the team they're supposed to be closing the gap on. It's Rangers' worst start to a league season in 36 years. Manager Russell Martin has called for calm despite the poor start.
At the minute, there's still too many people uncertain or still trying to think maybe there's something there for me. So the window needs to shut quickly. In-house, we need to make sure that we have people who really want to be here. So the people that come in and the people that stay that really, really want to be here. So we'll see. I'm calm about it.
Well, let's find out if Andy, who's a Rangers fan, is calm. Morning, Andy.
Good morning, Andy.
Morning, guys. Morning, Ali. Just a quick question for Ali regarding Rangers. I know no trophies are won in August, but do you think Russell Martin's position is going to be nearly untenable if they lose to Bruges and Celtic? If they lose to Celtic, which I really hope they don't, they'll go 9 points behind, and the goal difference isn't exactly great either. Also, as a second point, also Hamzig Man refusing allegedly to go on yesterday, do you think that will have undermined Russell Martin's authority within the squad? It doesn't look good on his authority if a player's actually refusing to go on and actually do his job. What do you think?
Yeah, two great points. Two great points, Andy. First point is, it'll be, being honest, it'll be extremely difficult. I know the position he's in, and I'm the same as you, mate. I want us to beat Bruges, and I want us to beat Celtic, and I want us to go on a run. Yeah. But I'm concerned. Like every other Rangers supporter, I'm really concerned, mate. I'm looking at the team yesterday, and we just look weak, mate. We look weak physically. We look weak mentally. We don't look as though we've got any leaders. And by the way, Andy, there's a lot of it not Russell Martin's fault. The buck stops with Russell Martin, as is always the case. The buck stops with the manager and the head coach. That goes with the territory, and he knows that. But frankly, some of the recruitment prior to him coming has been shocking, to tell you the truth, in my opinion. Yeah. And that is one of the reasons we are where we are. However, he's come in, taken the job, and the performances and results clearly haven't been good enough. To start with 3 draws and the worst start for whatever it is, 30 odd years, Jeff was saying there, isn't good enough. So, like every other manager, he will be of course he'll be under pressure. He knows that, Andy. I mean, if all of a sudden at this early stage in the season we're those many points behind Celtic out of the Champions League, of course you've got qualification for the Europa League after the victory against Panathinaikos. That goes without saying, but it's a start that nobody would have wanted or nobody would have imagined, and he will be under pressure. There's no doubt about that, because it goes to the territory. Getting back to the next question, does it undermine his authority? No, I personally don't think it does. I think it tells you more about the player than it does anything else, Andy. Now, I don't know the full situation. If he's not injured, it's a disgrace, right? Simple as that. If he's not injured, it's a disgrace. And the fact of the matter is, Andy, only he knows whether he's injured. If he's injured himself in the warm-up, then that can happen. As I said to Jeff earlier on at 6 o'clock this morning, I've done it myself. I did it myself in the cup final. I did it myself at Hampden prior to the cup final. So it can happen. But it doesn't look good. It's not a good look straight away, particularly when you think the boy wants away. He looks as though he wants away. His body language is suggesting to me that he wants away. So it isn't a good look. If in any way, shape or form you do find out that he has refused to go on and he's not injured, then it gives Russell Martin the perfect opportunity to completely show some strength and discipline him, which you would have to do. You would have to discipline him in the strongest possible manner. You've then got the contradictory problem that I suggest with likes of Isak and Visa, where you can't there's no point in keeping an unhappy player, right? But then, judging his behaviour, does that make Rangers a soft touch in terms of for a club coming in to buy him? You've got that problem, and you've got that problem, and that's where you have to show strength and show mettle as well, and say no. He's not going for that price. We've got that price in our head. You agree that price, we'll sell him. If not, He's got, what, 3 years of contract to go. It's a big thing to do. It's a massive thing to do. Can you say, right, you're staying here, you need to knuckle down and get on with it, or do you have the same kind of problem you've got with Visa?
Andy?
And indeed, Isaac.
Thanks for the call, Andy.
Thanks, mate.
Could I possibly ask Ali a quick favour as well, please?
Sure, mate.
It's a big ask, but I'm going to Denmark to watch Scotland, and I was wondering if you happen to have any contacts for a spare ticket.
For Denmark?
Yeah.
For Scotland, Denmark? Listen,
Yes,
mate, I've got a chance of getting a game, never mind a ticket, the way things are going. I'll certainly do my best for you, but I'm not sure I can come up with the goods.
Yeah, I thought he was going to ask you to pay for the flight there for a moment, Coisty. So we all know what the answer to that would have been. Andy, thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed for that. Look, it's difficult situation for Rangers. Just so you got a couple of minutes. We were going to do a sort of unbelievable ref here, but we're pretty much out of time. I just wanted to talk about Fulham against Manchester United. What a blooming shambles, Coisty. What a shambles. I mean, when they awarded the penalty, VAR got involved. When Mason Mount was hauled down by Bassi, I thought, fantastic, yes, this is going to stop all the grappling if it's applied across the board. And I know that Luke Shaw had his arms around one of the Fulham defenders at the time. But I thought, great, this will stop that grappling. And then in the second half, Euro uses two hands to push Bassi over, leading to the goal, and Chris Kavanagh and the VAR ignore it. I mean, what the heck was that about?
It's the age-old problem, Jeff. It's a lack of consistency. That's all we're looking for, is consistency. And I take your point, but there was two incidents when the penalty was given. You're right to mention the other incident, which was going on, but behind the original incident, which the penalty was given for. But in terms of supporters and fans, all you want is consistency with the decisions, Jeff. And that's what we're not getting. Whether it's a handball, I mean, I don't think the penalty at Everton again, I don't think that's a handball either, mate. No. I'm watching, I'm thinking that's never a penalty, and then he gives it, and I'm saying to myself, have I got it totally wrong here? I'm thinking to myself, no, I don't. Then I watch the free kick that's given on at Villa at the weekend, the Brentford goal.
That's nonsense, isn't it?
It's nonsense, absolute nonsense. So it's just, I mean, we'll always have contrasting opinions on referees' decisions, but where we're all in agreement is the lack of consistency.
And where we're in agreement, I'm sure, as well. Now, I'm not sure whether this is a Premier League statement or the PGA Tour. I'm not sure what, but after VAR didn't spot in inverted commas the push on Bassi from Euro, they came out with a statement saying it didn't have a direct impact on the goal.
Does it matter?
What are you talking about? Of course it had a direct impact on the goal. Is this a statement from somebody who's never watched a game in their life before?
But so effectively, if there's an incident at the edge of the box, somebody elbows somebody in the jaw, right? There's a goal. It doesn't have an impact on the. Of course, it's an impact in the game. It doesn't matter if it's an impact on the goal. It has an impact in the game.
No, it was some shocking decisions again at the weekend, unfortunately. And by the way, one other little thing I noticed, and I think it was in the Friday night game, I can't quite remember the situation now. What happened to the supposed clampdown of players surrounding the referee? It was only meant to be the captain. Well, that's not happening. That is just not happening. You know, we still see players clustered around the referee appealing decisions. Anyway, new season, new rules, last for about 3 weeks. Don't forget you can hear what former ref Chris Foy had to say to talkSPORT's Sam Matterface on their brand new podcast, Men in Black, which is out later today. I'm told it might raise some eyebrows. We'll be speaking to John Barnes next.
More green jackets have been lost at the 12th than at the Augusta City Dry Cleaners. Rory McIlroy knows this better than most. But what is Amen Corner and why is it so iconic? The famous sequence has always been there since the Masters began in 1934. It didn't get its name until '58, though, when American sports writer Herbert Warren Wind, on the left, wrote, "At the farthest reach of the Augusta National Course, down in the Amen Corner." He drew inspiration from the 1933 jazz song Shouting in That Amen Corner by the Dorsey Brothers. The reason behind its difficulty is all in the sand and the water. Tournament officials don't even bother to count the balls lost in there each year, such is the sheer number. The 11th, named White Dogwood, is a downhill 520-yard par 4 with a pond to the left of the green and a bunker to the right. Both cause a lot of trouble each year. The 12th, Golden Bell, is perhaps the most famous hole in the world, with danger everywhere. Many aim for the flag, but look, get it even slightly wrong and you're in the azaleas at the back, or the bunkers at the front, or even worse, Rays Creek. Or you can play it safe and aim for the open green on the left. You chicken. Tiger Woods once said, if you make 4 bogeys from Thursday to Sunday, you're doing well. And the highest ever score on that hole? 13. It's a par 3. Tom Weiskopf in 1980 was the sorry soul. Often the iconic Ben Hogan Bridge is the only thing players enjoy about Golden Bell. Even if you escape there unscathed, though, you met with Azalea, the dogleg par 5 13th. It tempts players to go for the green in 2, but cut over those trees on the left at your peril. Every year, it seems, Amen Corner destroys someone's dreams. Rory McIlroy dropped 3 shots through here as his round unravelled in 2011. In 2016, a year after navigating Amen Corner expertly, Jordan Spieth shot a quadruple bogey on the 12th to throw away his green jacket. I mean, it sounds like my game, to be honest. So who'll be the next to be brought to their knees, praying for mercy after Amen Corner?
Good morning to you. It is 4 minutes past 9 o'clock. It's Monday, August the 25th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Ally McCoist in Glasgow, and Arnold Clark. Build your own car deal online or with a few clicks. They make buying your next car easy. Now, only one place to start this hour. Newcastle United against Liverpool, brought to you live and exclusively on talkSPORT.
A spine-tingling occasion with a fixture that evokes memories.
Collymore closing in! Liverpool lead in stoppage time!
Long from Enrique, taken by Suarez. Oh, what about that? What about that?
There's something happening at this football club. Something happening at St James's Park.
But the picture changes and unfolds, twists and turns.
When promises are broken and trust is lost, the relationship cannot continue.
Let's be honest, lads, they have missed Isak, haven't they? Like you wouldn't believe.
Rather focus on those players we have here. I'm sure everything off the pitch will take care of itself.
Now Gakpo into the penalty area, takes aim! What a finish!
Also a team that can make it a fight, if you want to call it like this. They have players for this, but they also have players that are so comfortable in the ball.
Vance goes round him, fires it in! 3-0 Newcastle!
First home game, I think, is always going to be electric, under lights, evening game. Concentrate on what we need to do and not get too emotional, but certainly use the energy from the crowd. That's going to be vital for us.
St James's Park explodes with emotion.
Yeah, it's a great fixture, this one. And after a summer of drama around Alexander Isak, of course, there's going to be an incredible atmosphere at St James's Park when Liverpool arrive. Let's hear from both managers, Eddie Howe and Arne Slot, speaking ahead of the game.
I love experiencing those days, those nights with the energy that the crowd bring us. I've got no doubt this will be a really passionate display from the home support. We need to harness that, use it, but not be reckless with it. You know, we've got to concentrate on the game. We've got to deliver our game plan. We've got to concentrate on what we need to do and not get too emotional, but certainly use the energy from the crowd. That's going to be vital for us.
If you go to Newcastle, you know what to expect. We've played them 3 times last season, and twice their intensity levels were above ours. So in the away game, especially first 60 minutes, they were so intense. They were fully deserved, had the lead, and in the League Cup final they were more intense than us as well. One of the best teams in the league, and one of the most difficult away games that you can have in a season, especially, as you say it here, under the lights.
I've always felt there was a bond, you know, between Geordies and Scousers. But I tell you what, tonight, this will be incredibly hostile for Liverpool, Coisty.
You better believe it will. Like you've no idea. I mean, and for us to sit and say it'll go up a notch will give you some indication what it'll be like, because that place at the best of times is absolutely jumping. But it will go up a notch. But it was interesting listening to Arne Slot. Excellent, by the way. I really do enjoy listening to him, as I do Eddie. He's spot on with his assessment. The last couple of times, particularly League Cup final, I thought Newcastle's intensity and the way they played the game and the manner they approached the game, I'm not saying it shocked Liverpool, but eventually it was too much for Liverpool. And I think if Liverpool don't match that, which they have to, particularly in the opening 15, 20 minutes of this game tonight, then, you know, they could get caught up in it. But they will, because listen to Arne Slot there, he knows that was missing from his team in the previous couple of fixtures against Newcastle. It can't happen at the best of times. It certainly can't happen up there, or you could get swamped. So I'm really looking forward to the game, but I'm really looking forward to the start of the game, because it'll be 100 miles an hour, Jeff.
It will. And people, all the talk obviously has been about Alexander Isak. People forget that Newcastle are not a one-man band. Look at their players: Bruno and Anthony Gordon, Dan Burn, Anthony Elanga, Joe Linton, Fabian Schär, Livramento, Murphy. So, you know, this is still a good Newcastle side, with or without Alexander Isak.
Oh, absolutely. Murphy can consider himself unlucky not to start the game down at Villa. And do you know something, Jeff? It's the easiest thing in the world for me to sit here and say Newcastle would have won that game if Isak was playing. Because do you know something? They probably would have. Because they just missed that. They missed 2 or 3 chances. Alain got a couple of chances, but he'll get better as his Newcastle career progresses. But they've got enough talent in the team. Middle of the park's excellent. Honestly, God, they've got a lovely balance. You say Greish, Tonali, Joe Linton, whoever it is, they've got a lovely balance about them. And when you've got pace up front of Alanga and Gordon, they will trouble any teams. And one thing about Liverpool, they have been losing goals, and I think they're a little bit suspect to losing goals. And the way they play the game, because they've got so many great players in attacking areas, Liverpool, they will attack you. And even away from home, I would expect the pace of the front line at Newcastle to pose Liverpool some serious problems.
Yeah, no Frimpong, no Bradley this evening either. Yeah. So they got an issue on the right-hand side.
Would it not be pretty straightforward? Am I missing something? Is Gomez injured again? Or
Gomez is injured as well, yeah.
Oh, well, there you are. I thought he'd have been an automatic right back, but obviously he's injured again.
But on the plus side, Ryan Gravenberch, who's a key player for them, is available once again. I mean, he's a certain starter, isn't he? Do you feel that Arsenal result at the weekend sends out a message? Was it a sort of statement win? Is the pressure already cranked up on Liverpool?
Well, no, I don't think so. Because, like you said earlier on in the programme, I kind of expected, we all do our predictions, And my prediction at the weekend was a comfortable win for Arsenal. I had them a 3-0 victory. So that result didn't surprise me. It didn't shock me. It was a big plus for Arsenal, clean sheet. Gyökeres getting a couple of goals, getting his Arsenal goal scoring career off and running. As I said, the most important thing from Arsenal's point of view, I think, after that game, is the injuries aren't too severe to the two players that came off. You know, particularly Saka and Odegaard. I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, Arsenal are going to be really, really strong, Jeff. They really are. I mean, they didn't play particularly well at Old Trafford and they pick up the 3 points. I think Arsenal are getting back into that mode where they might not necessarily play really well in games, and it's the age-old 1-0 to the Arsenal. How many times have we heard that getting back in time? And I think they're just getting back to that kind of, you know what I mean? It doesn't. We don't need to necessarily play well to win games. That's where I think Arsenal are heading back to. But that result, I don't think at the weekend would have put any more pressure on Liverpool or City or Spurs or Chelsea, whoever it may be. Because I think, not for a second, I'm saying it was a given, but it wasn't a surprise.
No, definitely wasn't a surprise. Eddie Howe, I think, has handled the whole Isak thing absolutely brilliantly. And he hasn't thrown the player under the bus.
No.
You know, he's left the door open.
Brilliant
Should things
management
be resolved and he stays at the club. But I wonder tonight whether he'll use the absence of Isak as motivation for his team. Come on, boys. We are a good team without him.
100%. First and foremost, you are spot on with your assessment of how Eddie Howe's handled that situation. Because make no mistake about it, he will be a lot more disappointed and will feel a lot more let down than he is showing. Right, I think he's handled it brilliantly because he has not, as you say, closed the door, totally slammed the door on Isak. He's left it open. He'll be so disappointed in the player and the way he's handled it. But I think in his interviews, he's just about been spot on. But will he use that as a motivation for his team? 100% he will. Absolutely.
It could be an absolutely cracking match, and don't forget, you can hear it. It's live on talkSPORT this evening. Our coverage starts at 7 o'clock. Join Adrian and the gang for that. A bit of sad breaking news for you. Chesterfield have just released a statement. The club says with great sadness we announced that the club's owner, Phil Kirk, has passed away at the age of 59 following a short illness. He invested in the club with his brother Ashley in 2022, and of course we know what Chesterfield have achieved in recent seasons, in no short measure to Phil Kirk, who sadly has passed away today, according to the club. 9:14, back with more in a minute. Yeah, very good morning to you. Very nearly 18 minutes past 9, Monday, August the 25th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with us. We're here for the next, 40 minutes or so. And then all roads lead to Roots Hall Southend. And now time is running out to enter our VIP competition as the NFL returns to Wembley in October. The LA Rams take on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we are giving you the chance to win 6 tickets for a private box with full hospitality, plus $5,000 spending money. But it all ends tonight at 11 o'clock, so be quick. Here's how to enter.
18 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word cash to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission or enter for free by calling 0330 880 3338. All entries must be received by 25th August at 11 p.m. This is a talkSPORT limited promotion run on talkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. See talksport.com for terms and conditions.
And the very best of luck to you. Johnny's in the studio now, talkSPORT's chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, with all the latest transfer news. Hello, Crookie, you all right?
Crookie, morning, mate.
I'm good. You boys well?
Yeah, really well. Enjoy
Crookie, can you
Craven Cottage?
just clarify?
I enjoyed the first 20 minutes, and then it felt very much like the Manchester United of old after that.
Were you in the posh hospitality seats, the sort of £700 a go seats?
No, I was opposite those. I was in the press box, which I don't think's changed for about 200 years. But yeah, I love Craven Cottage. I mean, especially on a summer's day, a brilliant walk to the stadium, lovely ground to watch football. Good side that Marco Silva's assembled. I mean, he told me afterwards he needs help in the transfer market, but they're not going to be a pushover, Fulham. But this bright new dawn that maybe we thought was coming from Manchester United after a good performance against Arsenal very quickly has plunged back into darkness.
Need a new keeper.
I'm just looking. I need clarification,
sorry,
Jeff. Sorry, mate. Before we go into all things transfer, I'm looking for clarification from Crookie. Can he confirm that he's not after Rupert's job? 3 days at the racing yet last week, mate. Am I
right? you are right. Yeah, Windsor on Monday night. Got the boat over from the town centre. Lovely day at York for the Ebor Festival on Thursday, and then Goodwood on Friday night. So, I am turning into Rupert Bellpoint too.
Altai Bender not at the races yesterday. Manchester United looking for a new goalkeeper.
Yeah, I mean, he made a couple of saves first half outside, so let's give him the praise he deserves for that. But every time Fulham had a corner, he was a nervous wreck, wasn't he? And it made the defenders a nervous wreck, and you felt like United would concede every time there was a set piece. Onana back on the bench. I think it's a big statement from Ruben Amorim not to pick him for the first 2 games of the season. You wonder if there is a possibility Onana might leave the club between now and next Monday when the window closes. At the moment, United are saying that isn't the plan, but he won't be happy. And the goalkeeper they're looking at is another youngster, Sonny Lammers, Belgium under-21 international, left out by Royal Antwerp for their game this weekend because we understand he is getting closer to a move to United. It'll be £17 million. But is he going to be the answer? Again, it's putting a lot of pressure on young shoulders, isn't it?
He plays in front of 10, 11, 12,000 at Antwerp. You know, it's a big change to play in front of 70,000 at Old Trafford.
You know what I keep coming to, and maybe Coyce's got a view on this? Aaron Ramsdale, £4 million loan fee, cover his wages, which was substantial for Southampton, but not going to break the bank at Manchester United. Proven in the Premier League. He's proven he's got the character to do it at a big club as he did for Arsenal in that first season. That looked a no-brainer to me.
Well, I don't disagree with you, mate. I really don't disagree with you. Because I think Jeff's right. That's a hell of a leap going from the Belgian League to Manchester United goalkeeper. But they definitely got to get something done with, mate, because it's a problem position. And I don't necessarily disagree with what you've said there. I tell you where I'm keen to go, mate, and I'm really interested. A player that I think at the peak of his form was just about an automatic England choice, but he's now completely and utterly, sadly lost his way, Crookie, Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, well, he's one of a number of players who I think is going to have to leave Chelsea between now and Monday, but he'll do it only on his own terms. You know, he's still one of the best paid players at Chelsea. I think he feels a little bit mistreated, having been promised when Enzo Maresca came in at the start of last season that he would be part of the plans, and then that all changed, if you remember, when he was left out the squad for the opening game at home to Manchester City, went on loan to Arsenal, didn't work out for him there. And I wonder if Chelsea are going to have to swallow a similar deal, because if you remember, that Arsenal move happened on deadline day. They ended up paying something like 90% of his wages, Chelsea, just to get him off the books for the season. And I wonder if that may happen again. It was interesting. There were members of the Chelsea hierarchy. Sam Jewell, one of the top guys there in recruitment at Fulham yesterday. And Fulham are one of the clubs that are interested in Raheem Sterling. As I mentioned already, Marco Silva says they need reinforcements. And I think that would be a move that would appeal to Raheem. He doesn't particularly want to leave London. That's one of the reasons he signed a long-term deal at Chelsea in the first place. There's been talk of West Ham. I know Palace have always had a historic interest. And we disagree on this. You think West Ham be a good move for Raheem Sterling? I think Fulham could be a better one.
I think Raheem Sterling to West Ham would be a good move for West Ham. I don't necessarily think it would be a good move for Raheem Sterling. You know, I just think that West Ham, they've got to get some bodies in through that door, and it appears they've got precious little money to spend. You look at some of the recruitment over the years, and you can only think about the amounts that they've squandered, and they don't really have too many sellable assets, you know, if it's a case of having to sell before they spend. I mean, they've only really got Paqueta or, you know, for goodness sake, you know, don't shoot the messenger, West Ham fans, or Jarrod Bowen, who's under contract till 2030.
But it's a good point. And again, I'll bring Ali in on this. Jarrod Bowen, far and away their best player. Even in these first two games of the season, he's been the one shining light for West Ham. It's a World Cup year. He was left out by Thomas Tuchel for the last England squad. I don't think it's a guarantee that he's back in on Friday. If he's looking around and thinking this is going to be a season of turmoil, should he push for a move, Ali, for the sake of his own international career?
Oh, dear me, cricket. Listen, that would be a serious nail in the coffin for the West Ham fans, man, if they lose somebody like Jarrod Bowen. But selfishly, if he's going to look after himself, it's not beyond the realms of possibility he can get back into the England setup and England team by playing well for West Ham. But if you're asking me the honest question, would he have a better chance of getting back in the England team playing well at another club that's been more successful? Then the obvious answer would be yes. That's the obvious answer, I think, from his point of view.
Coisty.
Yep.
I'm just getting a call. It's Danny Dyer. He wants a word with you.
but I was just about to say the one thing he is, Jarrod Bowen, he looks an honourable man, and while he's at West Ham, and he clearly loves West Ham, he'll give them everything he's got. Whether in doing that gets him back into the England international team, Crookie, I ain't so sure.
Look, it's been a bad enough weekend for West Ham. Let's move on.
That would be an awkward Christmas dinner conversation if you didn't go, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it just? I dare not ask this, really, but I'm going to. Anything more on Alexander Isak?
Not much seems to be moving at this stage. I think the vibe I was getting last week after Isak released that bombshell statement on Tuesday night and Newcastle responded very quickly with a statement of their own, was that, if anything, that had strengthened Newcastle's resolve that he wouldn't be allowed to leave this window. Certainly, I think that's Eddie Howe's interpretation of events and the people on the ground. But ultimately, it's not going to be Eddie Howe who has the final say, is it? It's going to be the Public Investment Fund over in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And I do just wonder if Liverpool do come back in with a serious offer, a British record offer between now and the end of the window, do the Saudis cash in? Is there potential for this still to happen? We'll find out in the next week or so.
Yeah,
I think there is, guys. I think there is, Jeff. I really do. We talk about water under the bridge. I just feel for a lot of the Newcastle fans, boys, there's been too much water under the bridge. And I know you wouldn't want to lose them without getting a replacement in, but that's going to be a long walk back into that dressing room. It's going to be an even longer walk back out in front of those fans. And I know everybody says, get back in the team, score a couple of goals, and everything the garden will be rosy again. I'm not so sure.
Has the time passed when Newcastle could resolve it by saying, you know, look, Alexander, one more season, and we will help you get a big move?
I just think the way that he's gone about it, and actually I've spoken to a lot of agents of high-profile players who've been in situations like this themselves. I was with one in the box at York Races last week, and they were saying, yeah, you know, we thought about it. You know, when we were trying to get a move, we thought about releasing this statement. But when you do that, it almost gets you to the point of no return. Mm-hmm. That's why not many players do. I mean, I think Johan Wisser is still contemplating taking similar action, but I think he's keeping his powder dry and hoping that the two clubs can still come up with a fee. Because once you do that, you alienate your manager, you alienate a lot of your teammates. It was interesting, Bruno Guimaraes reacted with a picture of him in a Newcastle strip on social media soon after that statement, and you certainly alienate the fans. I think there's going to be a lot of negativity and negative chanting towards Alexander Isak tonight.
Oh, yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. And Eddie Howe summed it up. He said it's a lose-lose situation for us. And sadly, from their perspective, it probably is. Crookie, thanks very much indeed.
Cheers, mate.
Next up, we'll be speaking to tonight's talkSPORT co-commentator and SAS Who Dares Wins finalist, Troy Deeney.
For every good signing a club makes, there's bound to be a few that don't work out. Manchester United have certainly had their fair share of those, especially since the end of their golden age under Sir Alex Ferguson. Here are some of the Red Devils' worst signings since Fergie. First up, Alexis Sanchez. He'd averaged almost a goal every 2 games for Arsenal, but in his 45 matches for United, he only bagged 5. Next up, Radamel Falcao, dubbed El Tigre, or the Tiger. But at Old Trafford, he was a little more pussycat, to be honest. All the Colombian managed in 29 games was 4 goals. Moving on, things couldn't have gone worse for Jadon Sancho at United, with just 12 goals in 83 games. And it all ended after that very public spat with then-manager Erik ten Hag. Next, Ten Hag probably thought he was wise in sticking to what he knew when he brought in Antony from former club Ajax. But the £86 million Brazilian has really not been able to hack it in the Prem. The curse of the famous number 7 shirt has also had its share of victims. As well as the aforementioned Sanchez, Memphis Depay found he couldn't follow in the footsteps of Ronaldo, Cantona, Beckham and Best. He netted just 7 in 53 appearances. And those are just a few examples. To be honest, the list could go on and on. Unfortunately, that's probably why Man United haven't won the title for over a decade, and why it might take a few more years before they're in contention again.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, in the Arnold Clark app. Buy a car and opt into Arnold Clark Rewards to enjoy access to great giveaways and everyday perks. Now, the latest episode of 21 Minutes to Go, the podcast with Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy, is out now. It's all the usual chaos this week, including cues, confusion, and we learn from Cundy that he may be a man of many talents, but giving life advice doesn't seem to be his strong point.
Do you know what, mate? Just be you.
Brilliant.
Just be you. Just be you. Keep being you.
That would be so.
I think so, mate.
How old's your son? 10?
Yeah.
If you're your youngest one, if he said, "Dad, give me some great life advice," it would just be you.
Keep being you.
Keep being you.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough.
That's it.
Keep being you, and then do you know what? That's it. Keep being you. I mean, it's good advice.
3 words. Keep being you. So, how old are you? 55. 55. And all you can give,
my life experience.
all you can give out of everything you've learned is 3 words.
Yeah. Keep being you.
That's good advice.
Well, it was hardly Socrates, was it? Really,
No,
you know what I
it
mean?
wasn't. It wasn't Socrates. If you'd mentioned Socrates to Cundy, he'd wonder who he played for and whether he was good value. Brazilian midfielder, wasn't he? Oh, yeah. Look, if you haven't already, go and check 20 minutes. 20 minutes, I've shortened it, which is probably a merciful relief. Go and check 21 Minutes to Go with Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy, available on your favourite podcast provider. Cundy and his buddy Jamie O'Hara will be taking your calls after tonight's game at St James's Park. Live on talkSPORT as Liverpool enter the bear pit that will be the home of Newcastle United this evening to take on Eddie Howe's side. But who dares wins?
When it comes to the Premier League, one of the biggest tests is Newcastle away.
Well, there are atmospheres, and then there is St James's Park.
And for Liverpool, it'll be a case of who dares wins. When you go to St James's Park, it's a cauldron of noise.
St James's Park explodes with emotion. Listen to the roar around St James's Park.
These recruits need to make sure they're in the right state of mind behind enemy lines.
The squad have been put through their paces, including team manager Arnie Slot.
Number 1, do you know where your mission takes place?
That's St James's Park it is, huh? Yeah, they play at St James's Park.
St James's Park staff, you need to get your head together. Give me 10 press-ups now.
Number 10, Alexis McAllister.
Get it back to McAllister. That's 2-0. That's 3 points.
Will have the task of marking Joe Linton.
Joe Linton buries the header home.
Sure, he's given away about 40 fouls in this game, and the referee hasn't blown for one of them.
You've got to be strong, number 10. He's out there to get you. Move it.
For number 11, Mo Salah, target practice is key.
You bet he sealed it. Mo Salah does what he does best.
One advantage for Liverpool, number 14 for Newcastle is AWOL.
On his right foot, Isak! He doesn't miss from there!
My wish is that he would be playing on Monday night with us, but he won't be. First home game, I think, is always going to be electric, under lights, evening game. Those games are always really special for us.
The big nights, under the lights, that always hit the heights.
If these recruits don't listen to simple instruction, it could be so costly.
It'll be a true test for Liverpool. Can they adapt and overcome?
Yes, that's right. Tonight's the final of the TV show Who Dares Wins, the celebrity Who Dares Wins. We thought we'd give tonight's game between Newcastle and Liverpool a little twist. Now, I'm very pleased to say that the finalist of SAS Who Dares Wins is about to join us now. It's just our luck. He's also on co-coms this evening at St James's Park for talkSPORT. So let's have a very good morning to Troy Deeney. Morning, Troy.
Good morning, lads. How are you?
I'm very good. Morning, gents. That was very, very good. I feel like, Jeff, you had a lot to do with that, by the way.
I had absolutely nothing to do with it. I was bewildered by it, mate. I was bewildered by it. Hey, Troy, look, before we talk football then, and I don't expect you to give away the outcome of SAS, but what was it like? What was it like to be on?
It was fantastic, mate. Really, really good for where I was at mentally. Just retiring from football, trying to figure it out. And as you see, there were some real tough challenges. most notably having a fight with Conor Ben was always good fun. And I'm scared of heights. Just try to show people like a different side to me, and hopefully they see that. Obviously, you lads know me a lot better than most people, but I'm generally quite a nice guy. So just try to show it a little bit.
Troy, for me, the one was leaping from the speedboat onto the helicopter that was flying past.
Yeah, that was excellent. Yeah, again, I'm all right in the water. I'm not too scared of it. So like jumping from that was just more like a Tom Cruise movie. It felt like some Mission Impossible, a low budget one, clearly.
Troy, I think you're perfect for me. I've loved it. I've absolutely loved it, mate. And I think you've been brilliant on it, and I can't wait for the final. How have you got on with the boys? I know Bill and Foxy and that. They're great lads, aren't they?
Yeah, they're brilliant. They're all good. I'm going to meet up with Foxy and Billy later this week, hopefully. Foxy's obviously had a little baby as well, so congratulations to him. But they're good. I just think, when you go through that spell, Annie, you know this better than me, but it transition, like you finish football, life's good, but you don't really know what your thing is, like what's going to get you excited again. And just being around those lads who are just so straight, there is no middle ground, and they were just like, give your head a wobble. You got a great life. Go and enjoy it. And you're like, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Magic.
Been a brilliant series, Troy. Coisty and I, we'd have been out before Louis Spence.
By
the way, Jeff, I think he'd have knocked us out of the boxing.
Brilliant. Look, I've got a text for you, Troy, before we start talking about football. It's from Kessie. He says, "Hi, Jeff. Will you ask Troy if he actually dislikes Newcastle United?"
No. I don't dislike Newcastle. I don't dislike anybody. It's just, as you guys know, when you get asked your opinion on things, I'll just say it as it is. So, at the moment, Newcastle fans seem to think I want Isak to leave. It's not me that's put a transfer request in. I'm just commentating on it. I think that where Isak is at this moment in time, he's forced his hand. He's ready to leave. And Newcastle should just move on with it. I think they've got to get their players in first, obviously, look after the house. But Ali's been around. His players kicking off and trying to leave. It is what it is. It's not my fault.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. I'm just commentating. Sorry.
I tell you what it has done, Troy. I mean, it's not that the game itself needed any more spice added to it. But you're going to get some atmosphere tonight, boy. That place will be double. It's rocking at the best of times, but it'll be double rocking.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm buzzing, mate, to go there again. I've been at Newcastle quite a lot the last couple of games towards the end of the season. The atmosphere, as you say, is fantastic. It's going to have a bit of spice anyway with what's going on with Liverpool. But also, I do think that Newcastle are fancy it again because everyone's forgetting about the final now. That obviously beat them as well in the final. So in the Carabao Cup. But I think it's going to be great. And I'm just up in Scotland at the moment, mate. Finish match a day. Come up here, see the father-in-law up in Deeney. And we're going to go down after. Yeah, so I'm closer to you than I am to Jeff.
Yeah, actually. You're up in Stirlingshire.
Yeah, I'm up here now. That's why I look knackered, mate.
And we're looking after you, mate.
Oh, I hope so. I'm going to ask for some recommendations for some breakfast because he can't cook for Toffee.
You're never off the TV and the radio, Troy. You're on more than Coisty at the moment. What with Celebrity SAS, Match of the Day last night, the football this evening, and SAS again. Brilliant. Look, what about Liverpool then? Do you feel that Arsenal sent a message out to them at the weekend and maybe that puts them under even more pressure going into tonight?
Arsenal did beat Leeds, didn't they, Jeff? I'm just checking.
Yeah, Mike.
They did. Yeah, they didn't beat Real Madrid, right? Just Leeds.
No, but it was the way they did it, Troy. I mean, they demolished them, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Listen, Leeds never stood a chance. Again, I've been there. You newly promoted. That's not Leeds' game. They're not the ones that are going to keep them up. But Arsenal were good on the day. Good for Gyökeres to get off the mark. 5-0 again. Corners, they were looked at a real threat again at the start of this season. But for Liverpool, I think it's more about, a bit like Man City, keeping pace at the start of the season while all this noise is happening. Once the transfer window shuts, they'll crack on. I think Arsenal have got a few question marks now. Saka injured, Odegaard injured. How long are they out for? Havertz out as well. So it's going to be a really, really exciting season. I was listening to Ali on Saturday morning. Man City, everyone thought were back, and then Spurs have been excellent. I just think we're going to have one of those seasons where you can't make it out yet. I don't think all the teams will go down. Yeah. I think Wolves are poor. I think West Ham are poor. and the other guys have given it a go. So I'm really buzzing to be back, and it's football season. What more do we want?
You'd have been happy with Birmingham 1-0 at the weekend, mate, as well?
Well, I think when we keep winning, it just becomes normal. So we're going to win the league. It's fine. I'm not getting carried away. Win the league, 110 points. We'll be in the Prem where we deserve to be.
Yeah, well, you were doubly happy, weren't you? Because Villa lost again.
And I was commentating on that game as well. How hard it is to try and be neutral when you want to smile all the way through.
Yeah. Have they got problems, Villa, do you think, then, Troy?
Yeah. Well, 100%. You know what? In all seriousness, when you're watching it, and I was talking to a few guys around the ground on Saturday, and Ali, I want to get your opinion on this. Why do clubs leave it till the last minute? It's like I've watched one game for Villa and I'm going, right, there's 5 players that want to play in the middle of the park. So you've got John McGinn wants to play in the middle, he's on the wing. You've got Morgan Rogers wants to play as 10, he's on the wing. Everyone wants to play as 10s. And it's like someone just realised, you know what? If we had a winger, we'd be all right here. And they've not bought anyone or loaned anybody. What's happened?
Oh, I'm with you, mate. I mean, well, you look at arguably two of the best sides in the country and did the business early. Liverpool, and they might not be finished doing their business, but Liverpool and Manchester City, bang, they go out and get their business done. Get out early, get your business done. Listen, mate, get out early, get your business done. Listen, mate, the one thing I've got to ask you, being the centre forward you were, that was a terrible challenge on Martinez for that disallowed goal, wasn't it, mate?
Oh my God, honestly. You know when they say every year, mate, you've heard it, the game's gone. The game is officially gone. Yesterday I seen the penalties that were getting given, and then Bassi just gets pushed out of the way and heads it. And it's like, oh, no, that's fine. Don't get involved in that. Leave that one. But this one, mate, I think between me and you would have had 700 more penalties if we played in this day and age. I'd have missed them all, but...
Troy, enjoy tonight.
Cheers,
enjoy
guys.
it, mate.
Bye-bye.
I think the issue with Villa as well is that they, by the sounds of it, they need to get 2 or 3 out before they can bring anybody else in.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
Unai Emery's champing at the bit to do just that, but of course it's not completely within his control. It is 9:46. Up next, I'll ask Ali whether Pep and Manchester City players have a mental block when it comes to facing Tottenham.
Time to play the game!
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ally McCoist is with me. You're listening to one of WWE's most iconic walk-on songs. Who was it, Ali? Do you know?
I've got no idea.
No idea. Well, I do know because it's written in front of me. Triple H.
No.
Why are we playing that? A very good
tell
question.
a story, Jeff. I took the kids years ago to see that Undertaker. Yeah. Right, the Undertaker was on the wrestling in Braehead in Glasgow. I swear to God, Jeff, you'd have fell about laughing. His entrance into the ring took about 26 minutes, right? They were carrying him in a coffin, right? And it was all like, dun, 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 right? All that's getting played. The kids are going crazy. And then he get knocked out after about 90 seconds.
Did they carry him back out in the coffin?
They did actually, to be fair.
Brilliant. And look, we're playing that because in a recent interview, apparently, Mark Gahey revealed his desire to star in wrestling. He said, I'd love to be a WWE wrestler. Growing up watching WWE, it's on Netflix, so on and so forth. Well, he's in the right business anyway. He's a centre-half in the Premier League, you know. Plenty of wrestling goes on there.
Yes.
I don't believe a word of that. I'll be brutally honest.
We've just had a guest on it with the best in the planet. Troy would have been perfect. He'd have been perfect for that, Troy.
Yeah, he would be. And, you know, a lot of love for Troy, by the way. Martin has texted and said, can you thank Troy for his contribution to talkSPORT? I love his straight-talking, honest views. Great addition to talkSPORT. Cal in Leeds says, morning, chaps. Good show. Can someone please explain why the transfer window always has to slam shut? Why can it not just close? Cal, I am absolutely right with you there. And Ryan's texted in and said, and there it is. Arsenal beat the team who's in front of them, and all of a sudden it's only Leeds. Criticised if we win, lose or draw. Arsenal are the most hated team by the media, Jeff, and no one can tell us why. Are they? Are they really? What do you think, Coisty? Surely Arsenal. People love to watch Arsenal, you know?
Of course you do.
Declan Rice is everyone's favourite.
Love him. I love the two centre-backs, the good old-fashioned aggressive centre-backs.
Bukayo Saka, look, I mean, you know, model pro. I love watching Odegaard.
Yeah. So do I when he plays. Okay, his form wasn't absolutely top class last season, but you're right to mention Saka, different class. They've got some lovely players to watch. I enjoy watching Arsenal. But it's the old everybody's against this syndrome, isn't it, really? That's how he's feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. But believe you me, Ryan, we don't hate Arsenal. I don't know about the rest of the media who don't hate Arsenal. I absolutely love watching Arsenal, particularly when they're free-flowing best. Right, to finish the show on this bank holiday Monday, we thought we'd bring back everybody's favourite, Ask Ali.
Ask me. Here's Ally McCoist. Oh, he's done it. Ally McCoist from Red Jones.
Are you winding me up? No, I'm deadly serious. You know where the creator of the Rubik's Cube came from? Came from Czechoslovakia. So there you are, have some of that.
You need to introduce me to this Tinder. Is it dangerous? You're a pair of numpties, so you are.
Let's be having you. Let's be having you.
Oh, gee, was I?
You were only supposed to blow up a bloody door.
What's that?
Yeah, I've nailed it, man. I've nailed it.
Ask me.
Yeah, time for a bit of Ask Ali. Topic one, Coisty, for the first time since 2016, all three promoted teams have a win after 2 games.
Brilliant.
So, will any of those three survive? And if they do, that's a yes. Go on, tell me first of all, who's going to survive?
Well, I've got to start. I mean, it's only 2 games going. I can't start changing my opinion now. I've gone for Sunderland. I honestly thought Sunderland or Leeds would stay up, right? So I've probably let my heart rule my head a little bit, and I've gone for Sunderland. But I still believe Sunderland can and will stay up. But Burnley are going to have to, like newly promoted sides, you're going to have to make your home a fortress if you can. And certainly they had an excellent result at the weekend. So looking at it at the early stages, they've obviously all shown that they can win games. So I'm fairly confident that at least one of them will stay up, Jeff. I really am. And I think you've actually said you reckon 2 of them could stay up. And that's clearly not without the realms of possibility either. Whether all 3 will stay up, I'm not so sure.
Let's say all 3 did stay up.
Yep.
And just for the sake of argument, who would then be going down?
Well, I've already said I I think Wolves might struggle with the players they've lost. I don't see them, they've strengthened, right? And I know they've started with a couple of defeats. They had a couple of chances at the weekend there and maybe could have nicked something, and they lose the deflected goal, so they can maybe consider themselves a little bit unlucky. But I think Wolves might struggle. And if you're talking, and if we're saying the three really promoted sides will stay up, I think in current form, and I hate saying it, I think West Ham have got to come into the equation. Mm-hmm. Jeff, I really, really do, mate. I mean, if they're losing, and I know they had their chances last week, but if they're losing 3-0 to a newly promoted side and then getting battered at home, it makes common sense. There has to be a question mark.
Yeah,
they're going to have to find improvement from somewhere. So there's two that I would think if the three teams stay up. And on top of that, I would have said Brentford, but they had a great performance and great result at the weekend. And the other ones you would think, I don't know. I mean, I can't see Fulham struggling. I can't see Palace. You know, I certainly can't see similar league performances from Tottenham and Manchester United who finished down the bottom. So it could be a surprising one if you're looking for a third one to come into that equation. But the two I would say in current form that I would think would struggle would be Wolves and West Ham, mate.
Yeah, and I think probably a lot of Wolves and West Ham fans would agree with that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Tottenham beat Manchester City again at the weekend, meaning I found this hard to believe when I read it, actually, that Pep has now lost to Spurs 10 times in his career. Is there such a thing as a sort of psychological block in football?
I'm not sure whether there is, but I definitely think you have bogey sides and bogey teams the same way as an individual player. You like playing against teams and you like going to certain places. I had places like that, Jeff, where you would maybe score goals against certain teams where you'd maybe struggle ever so slightly against other ones, where you like to go to some places. And I think that is really evident with Manchester City. And I'm not so much whether I think they've got a mental block about Tottenham. I just think it might be the other way about. I just think Tottenham really enjoy and fancy playing against Manchester City more, because their record's incredible. I said to you, they've won, I think it's 7 out of the last 13, drawn 2. So City have only beaten in the league, I think it's 4 times in 13. Now, for a team that's dominated and played so well for so many years, that's an incredible statistic.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
isn't it just?
It really is, absolutely. And a brilliant Tottenham performance at the weekend.
It certainly was.
Coisty, we are done. How are you spending your bank holiday?
Do you know something? Sadly, it's not a bank holiday up in Scotland, Jeff.
I wondered why you were working.
Yes, it's not a bank holiday. So I am, mate. I'm off to the gym. I might have 6 holes of golf before my flight down to join you tomorrow morning, which I'm looking forward to. But you, on the other hand, I'll tell you right now, I'll have mine on the phone, because I'm looking forward to seeing how your team get on.
Yeah, me too. Heading off to the Goal Fest at Roots Hall. Coisty and I are back from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'll see you then, Ali.
See you tomorrow,
and of course,
mate.
We'll have all the reaction to Newcastle against Liverpool. Up next, Sam Matterface, Alex Crook and Martin O'Neill.